Magnus getting pretty low, but the Essence Shroud is going to save him, even though Gauntlet, I believe, used dust on him.
Yeah, so Andromeda wasn't in the area. If he was there, that would most certainly have been a kill, as he was around 100 life there. And the idea from the dust, I think, was good, but just not having enough follow-up to bring it down the Magnus there.
Definitely. And I believe Hellbringer did see that Invis Rhapsody because they do have a top ring ward now. So I'm not sure if it was miscommunication or of some sorts.
Yeah, so they placed that one, it looks like, around 2 minutes ago or so. So they did have some information there. Pitfall lands onto Hellbringer, just going to put some harassment there. We have the level 6s now coming into play from both Hellbringer and Gladiator, so both sides could be at risk of a kill. Top lane, we have a fight over the pole camp as Sandwraith will use the Desert's Curse, but they will control this medium camp spawn and even drag the creeps over here to the easy camp to continue farming the neutrals. And if we take a look at the GPM charts, we have the chorus from both sides at around 350 GPM. Sandwraith a little bit behind with 322, but then if falls off a little bit in favor of Backdoor Protocol with Hellbringer at 240 in comparison to Revenant only at the 160 GPM. So with the death in the bottom lane, it has really slowed down Revenant's farm. He's only sitting on 14 last hits in comparison to the 41 last hits from Gauntlet. So
Dive coming out in the top lane. They're using Zephyr and Hellbringer ultimates, and this is dead Sunbreak right away.
Yeah, the Malphus also destroying, or the Zephyr Typhoon as well. Sorry, destroying the trees there, not giving Sandwraith a place to kind of hide. And they're gonna use this Malphus to push this tier 1 tower. And you know that's a really early tower kill coming out from the side of Backdoor Protocol. That's gonna make Sandwraith's life a little bit even harder, as he's going to not have that protection of the tower for his teammates to court and assist him if there are any further rotations up in the top lane. But Zephyr, I believe he just bought his Helm of the Black Legion. I think he should have enough gold for that now, as he's 430
Rotation into the bottom lane.
per minute. Yeah, Pitfall, here comes the call to arms from Gladiator. The final auto attack with the whip there, going to give credit the kill to the Revenant actually, but they're
Legion
not done
TP
just
2
yet.
heroes.
Magnus is here with a Comet Stun. Here comes a dig. It's not going to connect as the Lava Surge will get Magnus the distance. Power Supply comes out following that Essence Shroud, and that will save his life as the Mnemonic Wave was ticking the damage. So good rotation in from Gladiator. They set up the kill there onto the Gauntlet, who was farming extremely well, as we talked about, on 44 last hits compared to the 16 of
In
Revenant.
Hellbor jungle, Zephyr was taking their stacks, and now he's getting gone on by the Sandwraith ultimate, as well as the Rhapsody. Is he gonna go down here, or is he gonna make the escape? Gust up in 5 seconds, but Andromeda is here to
They're
save
going
the
for a
day.
counter kill. He does not have mana for a Comet. The hook going to miss from the Gauntlet, as the heals from Rhapsody putting some good damage out. But Gauntlet, he's trying to get in range for his Gauntlet Blast. He will get it off, and that will mean Sandwraith does end up falling. And that will be a big kill coming in once again from the side of Backdoor Protocol. Sandwraith now falls for the second time this game, dropping to 260 gold per minute. And I gotta correct myself here, as Zephyr actually went for the Shaman's Headdress, not the Helm of the Black Legion. So he does not have the biggest HP pool, but he has tanked up on magic armor, which he is facing a lot of magic damage this game. What are your thoughts on the early Shaman's Headdress? Do you think he should have went for something like a Helm of the Black Legion, or do you think having the lower HP pool and having the upgraded magic armor is going to be just fine for him?
I think a Shaman's Headdress is perfectly fine here, because the heroes he's concerned about are the Magnus and Revenant. And obviously the Gladiator kind of comes to play with the physical damage here, but I think that him alone is not enough to justify a Helm versus a Shaman's here.
Okay.
So I do agree with his choice. And later the Sandwraith's gonna most likely pick up a Thunderclaw, which will also be a lot of magic damage.
Okay, so he's gonna have that tool to assist him. He's sitting on almost 800 gold here, as the stacks in the jungle being constantly made for him. He remains the top farmer in the game, and with the stacks being worked on, that's going to only increase, as he will take out a couple of double stacked camps here. But meanwhile, in the top lane, we have Gauntlet and G-Mancer trying to set up a kill there, but they're going to run into the Sandstalkers from Sandwraith. So again, we talked about the tower falling very early on. That's going to make Sandwraith not feel very comfortable as he's even forced to farm some of these jungle camps early on. Doesn't have the best jungle clearing capabilities previous to getting that Thunderclaw. But mid lane, we have a showdown coming in into the Chariot, aka the Call to Arms. There's the Malphus coming in from Hellbringer. Will the TP support get here in time? No, it will not, as Mirage comes in from Sandwraith, securing that kill. Zephyr is now here, but no mana for the Typhoon, and that means he is not going to have enough crowd control to bring down the Gladiator, who was very tanky with that Call to Arms buff on him. And they will get that one kill there on the Hellbringer. No response kills coming out from the side of Backdoor Protocol, but still in a lead here, 2,400 gold and 1,000 experience. And again, a lot of that due to the Zephyr.
Definitely. And on the other hand of Hellborn losing their top tower early, they have quite good vision in the top area. The lane ward just having been countered in the top lane. So it does allow some space to the Sandwraith, but definitely hurts them in farm here. And I think Legion team has gotten what they wanted out of this laning phase. Maybe save for the Hellbringer being only 260 GPM right now, but if they do have some stacks for him in the jungle that Zephyr leaves him, then he can probably recover.
Yeah, he goes for the early vestments here, so they're definitely prioritizing the magic armor as well as the gauntlet here. They understand that they're against a Revenant, and as you pointed out, a Magnus, and that eventual Thunderclaw coming out later, as Sandwraith continues to work on that in the jungle with Rhapsody. But they're definitely prioritizing having that armor. Arcane Bomb, I don't know if that was a full Arcane Bomb or just the rest
Bottom
of
lane, Andromeda gets invis ganked by Revenant and Magnus. Sorry,
yeah, we might see a counter gank coming in here. Geomancer spotting out the area here with the Geostalk. Pitfall going to be missed by Gladiator as he guesses in the trees there, but they're going to spot him out. Nonetheless, here comes the showdown. There's the dig being used, and he's going to get pulled back here into the Call to Arms. Will they have the damage? Follow up. Here comes the Lava Surge from the Magnus. One more auto attack from Gladiator. They will get that kill, but now the ports are here from Gauntlet as Zephyr was in the area, and he will use the Pitfall. It will connect onto the Gladiator. There's a Typhoon coming in from Zephyr as Geomancer and the Gladiator have both fallen so far. There's the Gauntlet going down, as well as Revenant now in the area. He's on top of that Zephyr, and the Cyclones will take him out, whether or not he's invis or not. Sandwraith, he's going to go for the board out. He will get stopped by the Gust, and a huge team fight coming in from Backdoor Protocol as Zero on the Hellbringer picks that one up, but 3 kills go in the way of Backdoor Protocol as they lose their Gauntlet and their Geomancer in return.
Huge dive by Snark. It was really impactful, that fight. It locked down almost all of the heroes from Hellborn, and they couldn't really move anymore, and they took a boatload of damage. So great fight by Legion. I don't think it's time to fight for Hellborn yet, as they don't really have a core item on any hero yet. So I think they do want to wait for those before they take a 5-on-5 engagement, even if it looked like just a pick off at the time.
Yeah, so they only really have core items on, well, they only really have Steam Boots at least picked up on the cores. So I think you're right in the sense that they need to have some further follow-up items before they can look to take any kind of further engagements outside of perhaps some smoke ganks and Revenant invis ganks.
Right. And it looks like Legion is rotating into the Hellborn jungle with Gauntlet here, and he's going to get away.
Instability gets him the movement speed to safety there. They're looking to turn this one around though. Here comes the Malphus coming out from Hellbringer. It's going to line up onto 2. Well, they have the damage to bring down Gladiator. He is very tanky as the stun from Magnus does connect onto Gauntlet. There's a protected Melody, but it's going to get cancelled immediately by the swap as Gauntlet is getting return focus fire here. But we're going to see 2 kills go in the way of Backdoor Protocol as Gladiator falls as well. So more players simply in the area. Better team fight coming in from Backdoor Protocol.
All that without the fat bird. They didn't even involve this, Zephyr there in that fight, even though he did get something out of it.
Yeah, pushing that mid lane tower. And speaking of him, he's opting to go for the Staff of the Master here, keeping the red marchers, not upgrading those at least just yet. What do you think about the follow-up piece there to the Shaman's Head? Do you like the Staff of the Master pickup?
I do think it's great because it makes his presence just a little more, little harder to ignore him and just play around him because he just does overall more damage and he can get more healing. I don't see a sacrificial stone that is quite a popular item on Zephyr as the
Getting
cyclones do
extra
heal him.
healing output. Yeah.
Right.
I think we definitely could see something like a Sackstone, as that would be a pretty nice tool for him. He's going to run into Rhapsody here, who is very deep into the Legion jungle here. Now, again, he doesn't necessarily want to use his Typhoon for this kill. He knows Rhapsody can't really get away from him, so they're just kind of playing here in the trees. He might use another Gust. There it is, as he will be now on the Ultimate Warrior streak. Andromeda holding that Comet Stun. They want to give that kill over to the Zephyr. So good job by them as a team.
Smart disengaged by Hellborn, by the Invis, Magnus, and Revenant. They could have definitely made the mistake of trying to commit there and died 3 heroes probably to the Zephyr. But
Top
they chose
lane,
to
we're gonna
that.
have Geomancer get initiated on here by the Lava Surge. There's the Mortification coming in with the Defile. Now, will this be enough damage for a kill? Looks like it will not. The Mortification wears off. Sandwraith is porting in with the Mirage. Is going to clean him up with the Desert's Curse. There was no support there. But while this is going on, the bottom lane is being pushed. Glyph comes out from the Hellborn side, and Zephyr cleans up the creep wave from behind the tower. And it doesn't look like Donkey Kong's in a position to defend that one, as they will give it up over to Backdoor Protocol.
Hellbringer in the mid lane. Cold Your Arms coming out.
Yeah, we're gonna have an explosion there from the chariot, the call to arms, finishing him off there as Magnus was assisting for that one, no doubt, with his Lava Surge.
Yeah, definitely.
But
what do you think Hellborn needs to do to kind of close the gap in this game right now, as we do see a 6.5k lead in favor of Legion here?
You know, it's a tough one. I think they definitely need to try to split up Backdoor Protocol, where I think they're a lot more vulnerable when they're not grouped up together. I think their teamfight presence is just too strong right now, especially with Zephyr being more or less unkillable unless they bring 3 or 4 heroes to him, because he just has that much healing output, as well as the magic armor being so strong, at least right now. So I think they need to try to split up Backdoor Protocol across the map, and then look to outnumber them with something like those Essence Shroud ganks. Every time they have that Sandwraith Mirage up as well. But they're still pretty far away from the portal key on the Magnus. Revenant just picking up a tablet, so more of a defensive build, as he does need that to combat the Zephyr Typhoon. And Gladiator, looks like he's working towards a barrier idol. We'll see if he does complete that, but that will be a big teamfight assistance for them moving forward to kind of combat a lot of this AoE from the side of the Legion. But we do now have the Thunderclaw finished here on the Sandwraith. He is only farming 318 gold per minute in comparison to the Zephyr, who is well over 500 gold per minute, sitting at around 550. As we see them grouping up here in the mid lane to potentially push another tier 2 tower, or well, I should say their first tier 2 tower. That ward actually going to get placed in the tower. I know you're a support player. That one kind of pains you. I heard your cries there. The oh no coming out. But yeah, I'm with you there. The ward unfortunately gonna go down, so not gonna have that vision. But as we can see, Sandwraith kind of split pushing the bottom lane. I think I would like to see Donkey Kong just kind of again splitting, perhaps even into the top lane, pushing out the lanes, just kind of, I almost want to say ignoring the Zephyr for now, just kind of making run around the map. But it looks like they're maybe thinking about taking this team fight, and I don't know how they're going to deal with the bird.
Comes out on the Revenant, he gets gusted back, and Gauntlet's going to initiate on him with the Gauntlet Blast as well.
There's a protective melody coming out, as the Malphus will stop the Rhapsody as well. Sandwraith is now here in the party. They do take out the Andromeda. Sandwraith is trying to get up the cliff, but he's fighting Zephyr mano a mano, and that is not going to work out for him as Zephyr is just too damn strong right now. Here comes a Dig Stun onto the Gladiator. Do they have enough damage to bring him down? The Earth Crash will miss, and Geomancer will fall to the tower. Gladiator just a little bit too tanky with that Barrier Idol, so they lose 2 players there in exchange for 3. The dives end up being a little bit too much from Backdoor Protocol, but the big picture here is Zephyr is still healthy. He will get the tower. Will they be able to bring him down with 3 players? Pitfall will land following up that Lava Surge, and the Mortification coming in from Revenant. They're trying to kite him with that Defile. Magnus does not have his Lava Surge up for 2 more seconds. A nice tablet coming in from the Revenant. Here comes the second Lava Surge, and will Zephyr end up falling? There's the healing coming in with the Sack Stone. Will he be able to turn this one around? No, he will not. He will get the kill onto Magnus, more so Hellbringer, but it will come at a cost of Zephyr's life. Swap comes out onto the Revenant. Do they have vision of him? Looks like he is dusted. Will he fall here? Final auto attacks will take him down as the Barrier will not keep him alive. Hellbringer also going to fall there due to the Showdown Pitfall combination. So a good hold coming in from Donkey Kong as they do finally bring down the Zephyr post tier 2 tower falling there in the mid lane.
The big bird falls, as I do think Donkey Kong's very happy with that, even though they did lose their Sandwraith to, unfortunately, him running out of his Desert's Curse cliff walking just before he was able to escape. And huge fight. I do believe it was a bit of an awkward position to fight in for Backdoor Protocol, so I do think that they need to position a little better in order to go cutthroat and win this game before the clock runs out. I think we've reached a crucial point of the game where Backdoor Protocol has all their items they want, they need. Maybe save for Hellbringer core items, but they are ready. They want to go right now, and Donkey Kong needs to answer this, and they've been doing it great so far. And if they continue to do so, I think they'll be in control of this game in about 10 minutes.
So I was going to ask you what Hellbringer was buying with this Luminous Prism. I just saw a right click of the Storm Spirit. I want to know your thoughts on that pickup specifically. Is that one going to be kind of crucial for them, or do you feel like we kind of talked about items like Staff of the Master or Restoration Stone? Do you feel like the Storm Spirit has some justification as his first pickup here?
It does have some justification. I don't think it's the best choice, but it is great against Showdown by Gladiator, as he cannot be brought back anymore if he's Storm Spirited or anyone of his team. As we see
bottom lane,
Geomancer solo
coming in
killing
from Geomancer.
He must have been low.
That would happen.
Unless he did use Crystal Field as well, so I suppose. Although I didn't think Geomancer could bring him down at all.
That's a big kill coming in from Geomancer. Did not expect.
Looks like a fight is cooking in the top lane right now.
Yeah, we have Hellbringer going to get initiated on here by the Revenant gank as Malphus comes out a little bit too late. He does end up falling. There's the Protected Melody for protecting Gladiator as Rhapsody will sacrifice himself. Now Zephyr is here in the Typhoon, dealing so much damage. Gladiator, he's going to hold his ground for now. The Pitfall comes out, not going to connect as he gets gusted back in, and that's going to be a double tap coming in for the Zephyr. Magnus does have his Lava Surge available, so he might be fine here as Gauntlet jumps in with the Fist, and Magnus will Lava Surge to the tower here, getting himself the distance to safety, as Zephyr could not get in range for another Gust, but 2 kills in exchange for that Hellbringer. Again, the numbers favoring Backdoor Protocol, and especially with Sandwraith dying in the bottom lane previous to this fight, looking very solid here. But they do have the Mirage ready to go if they are feeling that they are able to take an engagement here. Tower gets lifted up, but will end up falling here in the top lane. So the second outer tower now falling, as Zephyr continues his farm at the same pace here, 560 gold per minute, picking up the Firebrand now being delivered to him.
I'm a little worried about the Sandwraith not being able to take off. He's still sitting at 320 GPM here. Dying to the Geomancer solo definitely hurt them there, because if they did have the Mirage, I do think that fight could have went their way easily. And so he does need to find a space to recover, but it seems extremely hard right now for them. Not having any more outer tower safe for the bottom tier 2 tower anymore.
So Magnus still needs about another 1,000 gold for his portal key. Definitely a crucial item that they're kind of lacking, as they could definitely use a good eruption to kind of get them a solid team fight back in their favor. But Gladiator saving 2,000 gold right now. What do you think he should look to invest into following up this barrier idol? Does he need to continue to kind of bulk up and look to survive this Legion team fight, or does he need to start outputting damage to kind of assist the Sandwraith as he's still kind of struggling there, as we talked about, only sitting on 330 gold per minute?
Bottom lane Geomancer does die to the Magnus Revenant combo finally, as they didn't have damage before. To answer your question, I do think perhaps a Soul's Bulwark to assist some damage, or Portal Key is also an option for Gladiator
Okay.
to help initiating a bit if the Magnus doesn't get it soon.
Definitely
Other
has
than
enough
that-
gold for that if that would be his choice here, sitting on 2,500. But yeah, continue.
Other than that, I could also see a bulk of items such as the Frostfield Plate, perhaps to slow down the team fight, the enemy team a bit more. Though they do not have any big right clickers, so the attack speed slow will not come into play, only the movement speed most likely.
It
Too
looks
much.
like Revenant's picking up a Dreamcatcher as he's getting very close to having that finished. That's going to be a nice tool for them moving forward to dealing with the Zephyr's healing, as he will not be able to get that healing effect from his Cyclones sitting in that Typhoon with that Dreamcatcher debuff.
Definitely a smart pickup.
Yep, I have to agree with that Dreamcatcher, as he might have even just finished it. There we go, he has the Dreamcatcher on him now. But what do you think we're going to see from Sandwraith here? He has a Quick Blade. I'm expecting this to be one of the other, either a Nullifier Blade or a Geometer's Bane. Is one of them really just kind of key over the other here?
I think, okay, yes, he does answer our question here. Fight's happening in mid lane. Gauntlet Blast gonna land on the Gladiator as they're
He's
going
gonna
to
get
cast
casted backwards. He's going to end up falling. Just no team support there, as he gets kind of caught out by all five. Hasted Gauntlet with double damage as well, so having the double rune effect there definitely causing issues as they end up denying the bot tier 2 tower. This was the last outer tower for Donkey Kong, as Gauntlet attempts the hook here, but as we can see, nobody home in the area.
BPro's feeling confident now, hitting the tier
3 tower,
3
yeah.
tower here with the Zephyr without creeps even.
Gladiator kind of a big centerpiece to Donkey Kong's team fight presence, with him dead for 30 seconds. This will be a pretty tough one to defend. Now, he does have a buyback, and he's sitting on 3,000 gold. I want to imagine he doesn't want to use his buyback here, as the respawner is still relatively low. Sandwraith currently pushing in the top lane, going to get them a tower kill here, as he does pick up that Nullifier Blade, which you were kind of hinting at prior to that
Right.
death on the Gladiator. But Zephyr picks up the Frostburn. He's sitting on 2,100 life, feeling very confident here, as he is about 200 GPM above the Sandwraith. We have Revenant currently invis with the Essence Shroud, but they're not going to look for an opening here. And Backdoor Protocol will completely fall back. Do you think that they could look to do some Kongors, or do you think Kongors are not really super important, at least for now?
I think both statements are kind of right. They could probably steal the enemy Congo right now, as Zephyr's gonna get jumped.
Hold on, yeah, he's gonna jump the Zephyr. Now he is all by himself here. He's looking to turn it around though onto Magnus. Magnus will fall. Hellbringer gonna Storm Spirit himself, following up. That's call to arms does connect actually, as he gets dropped down from the Storm Spirit. Hellbringer will fall. Zephyr, is he gonna go down here? He gets taken down to low life, 50 HP. He does survive. Crystal Field landing onto several targets here. It's gonna be a double tap coming out for the Geomancer, as the Sandwraith does fall. Gladiator falls, as well as the Rhapsody, and the sole survivor here of the team fight is going to be Revenant. And that one started off ramaty by Donkey Kong initially jumping the Zephyr, and you know what? Zephyr didn't die. He survived with 50 lives, so the team support came just in the nick of time, and they only lost their Hellbringer in this team fight.
Huge crystal field by Geomancer, and it looked great for Donkey Kong in the beginning of the fight. I thought they were gonna get those 2 kills, but then the Andromeda swap saving Hellbringer in the last minute And him being able to get his Malphite off was actually also a huge point in helping the Zephyr survive.
Glad you caught that because I missed the swap there. As you are definitely right, Hellbringer got his Malphite off, and gotta think that that definitely helped the team fight go in their favor.
And Backdoor Protocol is looking great in this game right now, as Standrate's still not taking off as much as he needs to in order to turn this game right now, and they have nobody above 400 gold per minute. Is a bit unfortunate for Donkey Kong here, as they really need to choose their fights carefully from now on.
No Fireblade level 2 picked up now. Looks like he might be working on level 3. As we did see there, Magnus did have his portal key to start off that initial initiation. But what do you think about Gladiator going for the barbed armor? Do you feel like that was the pickup that they needed to kind of get a little bit of room back into the game by kind of just bulking up further? Or again, should he have gone for perhaps something else? And if so, what do you think he should have been?
I actually didn't really have a straightforward answer on what Gladiator should go for here. I wasn't sure myself, so I'm not gonna straight up argue with Slaske's item choice here. But I do believe it isn't a bad choice here, as he is quite tanky now, and he can probably uh, deal some damage with that barbed armor. Rhapsody is being scouted
Gonna
here
run
by the Zephyr.
into the Veiled Rods here. Zephyr gonna break his Veiled Rod. There comes the Gust. As the showdown is put onto Zephyr. Magnus channeling the Eruption. He's gonna get the stun off, but the team fight in favor of Backdoor so far as the Malphite comes out. Zephyr leading the front lines here. They're gonna go for this kill here on the Gladiators. The call to arms does connect, but not dealing enough damage as the Typhoon just too disruptive here from the Zephyr, and they lose the Gladiator on top of the Rhapsody. No kills again happening for the side of Donkey Kong. And it looks like they've spotted Sandwraith down here in the bot river. They're on the chase. Will they get the catch on him is the question,
Six
as he
stuns
does have a
into
Desert's Curse coming in. Here comes Gauntlet. He goes for the hook. Not going to guess the correct spot there, as he will go for the TP and will avoid the J-Matcher. But big picture here, this is more of a distraction than anything, keeping Sandwraith at bay as the tower does fall. Malphite leading the push here, as the Rax is taking heavy pressure. The ports are coming in now, and will this force Backdoor Protocol back as Revenant, he's hitting or throwing the auto attacks out onto the Zephyr. Staccato stuns landing onto Hellbringer. There's a swap, not the best swap coming out, but they're gonna go for the Magnus here with the Comet Stun. Hook comes in on the Sandwraith, but a tablet from the Revenant gets him up the cliff. A beautiful tablet to get Sandwraith there the distances. He could have been very vulnerable to some follow-up.
Definitely a huge tablet here, as they do protect the melee racks. So part of me wants to question that chase onto the Sandwraith. Perhaps in that time, those two heroes could have been used to actually take the melee racks themselves. But in the big picture, Backdoor Protocol just keeps extending their lead, and it's looking pretty grim for Donkey Kong at the moment, as Andromeda does pick up a second Arcane Bomb here, so Sandwraith illusions aren't gonna be playing a big role in this game anymore.
Yeah, here's the Jade Spire picked up, so it has that additional cast range for the swap and the Comet. G-Mancer kind of quietly doing well this game, as he has a Gnome's Wisdom on top of a Storm Spear. I haven't really talked too much about him outside of his pretty nice Crystal Fields he's been landing in some of these team fights. But the Arcane Bomb not necessarily delivered to him just yet. We'll see if he's got it
Perhaps it
being
was just the
delivered to him now.
recipe.
Yeah, it's just a recipe. I wanted to double check before I said, oh yeah, he has one, because a lot of the times, as we can see, we see the players just buying the recipe to reset the cooldown there in the shop. But Zephyr going for a Axe of the Malphite. Is this going to be a Behemoth start coming out, Ramaty?
Perhaps, yes. But he does have enough gold for it, yeah. He purchases it right there. And he's gonna be very fat bird. Very
That's
hard
going
to
to be
kill.
around 3,000 HP or so once he gets the heart completed, and possibly even higher, as we see Backdoor Protocol hunting for some kills here. Geomancer leading the way with his Geostock. Not going to find them, as we talked about how that sonar kind of has a little bit of deceptiveness to it, as doesn't actually show you where they are, but gives you a delayed kind of.
It is quite great against Revenant ganks as well.
Yeah.
Not showing the exact location, but enough to show that they are in the area, and
Mhm.
that if you're not close to team support, then you need to back off immediately. As Zephyr's feeling confident.
Gladiator gonna get hooked here. There's the comet stun following. Typhoon comes out in the background to prevent any follow-up to help the Gladiator, and he's gonna fall. He's all by himself there, despite using the barbed armor. G-Mans are gonna go with a dig stun here onto Revenant. Look at that Gus Ramaty as he gets pulled back into the crystal field. That's 2 kills going the way of Backdoor Protocol. This Rex is going to fall. There is just not a way for Donkey Kong to fight into this Zephyr. He's 3,400 life here with the Behemothsar. He's tanking the tower and basically taking next to nothing in terms of damage. But with 2 players dead, definitely feeling very confident there. And again, Sandrave sitting on 2,300 gold, but not the most threatening it just yet. So this tower gonna take some heavy pressure here. And what can Donkey Kong really do to kind of hold this one back?
I hate to say that it's too late right now. They need to actually. So the Zephyr is the raid boss right now, and they need to kill his minions first. They have to try their best.
Yeah.
Just going with the analogy there. So they need to try to kill as many of his team support as possible, and then try to bring down the Zephyr after they've killed some of them. And they definitely need some more items on the Senrit, so look to get perhaps any type of pickups that they can. Even go for a risky smoke play as initiation and top
Dig
in.
stun coming in, yeah, 2 men onto both the Rhapsody and the Gladiator. There's a swap from Andromeda onto the Magnus, and Magnus gonna get fully locked down. G-Messer will sacrifice himself. Crystal Field does go down and does stun Rhapsody and Gladiator in the background. There's the arcade bombs coming up as the protected Melody going to protect the Gladiator in the background. Comet Sun landing onto the Revenant, but here's the Typhoon now from Zephyr as Gauntlet looks back. The Sandwraith, and Sandwraith falls. He will immediately buy back. But again, there's just so much team fighting power here for Backdoor Protocol. The Raxes will fall as the ranged Rax most likely going to go down here as well. The melee Rax already falling. Pitfall will land onto Hellbringer. The Sandstalker is going to take out the Hellbringer as Sandwraith. He is still over here by the Rax, but Zephyr will take that one out as he does kind of get low on mana. But Hellbringer falls in the background, or well, he fell already as the Rax do eventually fall there. But that will be the second Rax of the game, and a pretty massive lead here from our Legion side. 22,000 gold and 15,000 experience, and only one Rax remaining for Donkey Kong.
Definitely, I think Donkey Kong did have the right idea that fight. As you can see, the HP of all the supporting cast on Legion, even right now, is not full. Meanwhile, Zephyr's obviously full HP. So they were ignoring the Zephyr, but they just simply didn't have enough items, enough damage to bring anyone down at this point, save for the Hellbringer later on with a buyback. But they definitely know what they need to do, but they definitely need more damage to do it.
Yeah, and they have the, I don't know if you mentioned this, the Spell Sunder on Revenant on top of that Dreamcatcher. Now again, there's no charges on the Dreamcatcher, so they can't stop the healing from Zephyr, at least for now. But with the Spell Sunder pickup, the hopes there is to kind of reduce his tankiness by applying that dot on him. But
For sure.
still a very uphill battle they have to face, as Sandwraith forced to use a buyback there, not being able to build into his next tier of item, and still sitting below 400 GPM, as he's faced a lot of pressure this game.
Yes, a lot of kill potential on the side of Legion, even toward the sand right here. And I forgot to mention it with the Gladiator barbed armor pickup, but in 2 fights ago he did use it, and it got instantly purged by the Gauntlet Blast, which
Yeah,
kind of leans me towards
this
not
was not
picking
the
it up.
correct item. Yeah, so again, what do you think he should have built if it was not a barbed armor?
Uh, yeah, I mentioned a couple items, demonic being one. Obviously not. It's a way more expensive item, so technically souls would work to help some more damage, or maybe even maybe even some damage item like the Assassin Shroud, though they do have a Revenant, so that doesn't. So it is a hard call to make on the Gladiator right now. As I said, I can't really argue with Slaske's choice because I would not be sure myself in this game what to buy on the
I almost
Gladiator.
like the idea you initially said with something like a portal key, even a tablet or storm spirit, just kind of going more utility as he's kind of went for the berry rifle, and the hopes there would be to just kind of kite the typhoon long enough to kind of reset the team fight and let that ultimate wear off before they could
They can definitely use another
re-engage.
tablet for sure,
Yeah,
and the
because
Storm as well.
the staff on Zephyr just makes that Typhoon so disruptive. It increases the radius of the ultimate. We didn't really talk about the effects there, as we see Andromeda going to get gone on here by the smoke gang from Revenant. Gauntlet is in the area. Gauntlet Blast landing onto the Magnus. Shrunken Head is applied here, and the hook will catch Magnus. Gonna get the one kill there. Revenant, he's going to get Sand Sceptered up into the Crystal Field. That's going to be a second kill coming out from Backdoor Protocol. As they only lose their Andromeda, I don't think they're too sad about getting the 2-for-1 trade there.
Definitely, even the Andromeda did take long enough to kill in order for team support to arrive. Although Hellbringer was in the area, and I think the swap kind of made it awkward for Hellborn to get out because the Andromeda was like 100 HP. So either they take the Andromeda kill and wait for Legion's team support to arrive, or they just back off right there. And they chose to take the Andromeda, and it was a risky play, and it didn't pay off, but it was a good
Yeah,
draft.
so I like the idea there from Donkey Kong. The problem is it's just a little bit too late. And we're gonna see the last tower, outer tower, the last base tower fall here. Typhoon is down, and again, they could even just use this to get the racks, but they're gonna use it to fight here. As Rhapsody stuck in that, there's the Malphus on top. They're gonna get the kill onto Rhapsody. Bark Armor is put out here by the Gladiator. There's the eruption from Magnus, stun connecting onto two. Sandwraith gets the one kill onto Gauntlet, but again, he's not really able to fight the Zephyr. He's, even with the Shrunken Head kind of running away, and this will be the full set of racks. This will be the Mega Creeps.
Mega Creeps.
And I don't see Donkey Kong fighting back into this one. Swap comes out from Andromeda. Sandwraith will just melt there. The GGs are called, and Donkey Kong will throw in the towel as Backdoor Protocol takes it here. As the lead almost amassing to 30,000 gold and 20,000 experience here to close this one out. But pretty solid performance here in game number 1 from Backdoor Protocol. Again, they're coming off a pretty nice victory yesterday going up against Big Ego Crew, which is not an easy task for any team. So
They
big
continue to
credits to them.
impress.
Yeah, definitely continuing their success here, at least early on in the semifinal number 1. But final thoughts on the match there, Ramaty?
Very well played, very strategized by Snark and his team. They played very methodically, I would say. Say for they didn't even hit Conquer kills as objectives. They just picked up their core items and they started applying so much pressure to Donkey Kong. Then they just kind of cracked under it. They weren't able to get the farm they needed because of the pressure that uh, Backdoor Protocol was applying to them. And I'd say they didn't get uh, too much space out of the Revenant Magnus combo.
Hmm.
Although they tried multiple ganks, I think even the Geomancer pick was kind of dangerous for it because the Geomancer could scout out a lot of their ganks. And so just overall well played by both teams, and Backdoor
Hmm.
Protocol strategy was victorious.
Yeah, so that will conclude game number 1 here. We'll go on a short break as we get game number 2 up and running. So stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. Game 2 coming up after the break. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are here with the ClanTour semifinal number 1. Again, we are here with Donkey Kong and Backdoor Protocol. Backdoor Protocol just coming off that game 1 victory. So Donkey Kong looking to stay alive here, winning this game to force a third and final match. I am once again going to be your shoutcaster. What you got? I'm going to be rejoined here by Ramaty. Welcome back from the break, Ramaty.
Hello, hello. Hopefully my mic's not muted this time.
No, you
And
sound loud and clear.
And yeah, looks like right away Holm is not changing up his bans. He's confident that those bans are right, and I can understand for sure.
So, what does Donkey Kong need to do here, coming off a loss here? They need to force a third game, keep the series alive. What kind of adjustments do you want to see them make?
What I think and what I would do if I was a captain here is that you know how teams, especially long running teams like Donkey Kong, BPro, they always have those little tricksy lineups up their sleeve that they're confident that they're always gonna bring that one game home with that and then catch the opponent off guard with it perhaps. So I expect to see one of those Donkey Kong lineups that they're just gonna be really, really confident and really like we're gonna win this because we drafted this kind of lineup. Now,
Okay,
be
so
it,
yeah,
be it any
the
cheese or just something they are really confident in.
yeah, so hopefully coming with a pocket strategy, as I like to call it, here for game number two, kind of get them some momentum going. But yeah, you talked about some of the bands there. Donkey Kong not changing any up, and then it looks like we have a Magnus band coming out from Backdoor Protocol. That one was in the last game, as well as the Andromeda. They picked that one up for themselves, so they change up a couple of their own bands there as they do ban away the Monarch as the first band there. But once again, we'll see the Rhapsody coming out from Donkey Kong, so kind of sticking to their guns at least for now. But we have the Chipper going to be the first pick here, following that Rhapsody pick for the side of Backdoor Protocol. Shadow picking the Devourer and the Shell Shock. And you know
Oh
what,
no.
Ramaty? I wouldn't be too
They call me
too
Snark,
sad if I got to cast some
and
Devourer
he likes
or Shell
it
Shock. But you know what? We're gonna have a scrap pick
varieties.
coming out nonetheless. And actually, yesterday's series between Big Ego Crew, Backdoor Protocol had Scrap banned against them several games. And, I was kind of wondering about that one, but it looks like a hero that they're feeling really confident on. They're going to pick that one up here on the second pick. And that's a hero we don't see a whole lot of. I'm expecting that to be 0-0 for the mid lane.
Definitely Zero has some really signature heroes to him. Like nobody else really plays Scrap but him in the
Yeah.
scene right now. And I can completely understand banning it against him because he does really play a killer Scrap. And um though it is by itself, when you see a Scrap, you're not really just scared of his presence. It is more the player hero combination.
Okay, so definitely something we're going to have to look out for as the game continues here. But we have Pharaoh and Ophelia going to be the final two picks from the side of Donkey Kong for entering that next wave of bans. So, we were kind of hinting at the possibility of a jungle strategy in that game number one as a future strategy for either the second or third game. And we're getting to see that here in game number two. So what do you think about the decision here from Donkey Kong? It looks like they will be changing up their strategy as they do go for that Ophelia.
Right. I think it matches exactly what I was saying earlier that they're confident they can bring a game home with the Ophelia lineup, right? And next game perhaps if they do manage to bring it home, then Snark will be perhaps banning the Ophelia so they can't do it again.
Hmm.
Uh so what I mean is that just because they have an Ophelia lineup, they are feeling confident that they can bring this home because Ophelia is such a specific strategy around the hero and it has had great success. I think barely any team really loses with a lineup with Ophelia, with a good Ophelia player.
Hmm.
So I definitely think that's the right call. Just try to bring this home quickly and get those confidence boosts, get those morale boosts up, and go into the third game happy.
So we have Bubbles, Sandwraith, and Gemini banned out here from Backdoor Protocol. They address the Sandwraith here in game number two as I kind of talked about how that was a Donkey Kong signature carry hero. Now ultimately that didn't end up bringing them home a victory in game number one, but it looks like Backdoor Protocol will still be happy to get rid of that one off the table. Gauntlet, Deadwood, and Malikan going to be banned out here from the side of Donkey Kong. So addressing some of those strength initiators, the Gauntlet specifically, a lot of the heroes from last game being addressed here in these picks, or rather, excuse me, in these two waves of bans here. So we're going to see a lot of different picks here in game number two, which excites me at least, as we're going to have a lot of different things to watch here. But following that Malikan ban, we have a Midas and Rally third and fourth pick coming out from Backdoor Protocol. So they pick a pair of initiators there. What do you think about the decision there surrounding that Scrap and Chipper first two picks?
I do think it's if they do lane together with the Midas and the Rally, it can be a pretty strong log lane duo if they decide to do that. And it's hard to catch either of them as both of them have an escape. Though I do think an Ophelia can deal with them if they really want to focus it. And okay, looks like they're gonna pick up a really hard carry hero in the Moon Queen, as well as the Kraken in the end. I'm excited to see what Snark's gonna pick for what I assume is gonna be a position 1 hero. Perhaps the Dampier here, as he has done before.
So not going to be Dampier, it's going to be Corrupted Disciple. That's not the one I was actually expecting them to go for. So before we talk about the Corrupted Disciple, I want to know your thoughts here about the decision to run the Moon Queen lineup here. They're going for that very hard carry. Does that surprise you that they go for a hard carry on the side of Donkey Kong, given that they have an Ophelia lineup, kind of looking to bring that pressure earlier on, and not choosing to go for something like a more aggressive style of carry? Or do you think that, um, given that they have the Ophelia, they want that late game style of presence to kind of secure them as they move forward throughout the match?
Think it's like choosing their strategy differently. I think with Ophelia you can kind of just draft a rolling ball lineup around the Ophelia and just try to push every tower by 20-25 minutes and just win the game off that advantage. Or what
Mhm.
they're doing here, I think, is that they're gonna use the Ophelia to push towers and get an early advantage for the Moon Queen to take over later, trying to kind of take the attention away from the Moon Queen who's silently farming in her woods while her team is fighting and pushing towers, which is also, I think, a viable strategy. So I do think it's different from what most teams do with an Ophelia. So I'm excited to see if it's gonna work. Obviously, when you look at this, you just kind of think the Moon Queen just kind of doesn't fit this Ophelia, just push, push, push. But
Yeah.
it is. I do think it's also a viable option.
Okay. So we're gonna see the corrupted disciple as the response pick there to that Moon Queen, and a little bit more of a team fight oriented lineup, or excuse me, rather a ganking style of lineup around the corrupted disciple, having heroes like the Midas, the Rally, and the Chipper with very long range spells there. What's your thoughts on the corrupted as the final pick here for this game number two?
It's definitely a strong hero. I've seen another team, Team Tim, run it before in the scrim, and even in the late game, it kind of stood its ground. So, and I think it's pretty great against the Pharaoh in a lane. Just a little bit of side note to because the Pharaoh doesn't really have that blink ability to break the chain,
Okay.
and you can kind of play around the wall of the Pharaoh with the corrupted in certain situations. So, but what I'm most
So
surprised of is that the scrap is not being played by Zero.
yes, that is exactly what I was just going to say, is they have Scrap being played in the secondary support role here with the Rally going into that long lane against the Moon Queen and the Rhapsody. Speaking of Zero, he's playing the Midas this game going up against Slaske on the Kraken in the mid lane matchup. So we have the Midas versus Kraken lane over there, and then we have Pharaoh, as you pointed out, going 1 versus 2 against the Chipper and the Corrupted Disciple. So Ophelia in the jungle, I always talk about her. She's gonna have to be that X Factor style of hero, possibly in both the bottom and mid lane. But what kind of advantages do you see both teams having, or who has the bigger advantage here in the early stages?
The jungle presence kind of always gives an XP advantage to the team that's running it. That is the usual fact, and I think until they get some levels, the rally scrap isn't gonna be too dangerous on the Moon Queen, as well as the Ophelia isn't gonna be too dangerous ganker at the bottom lane so just yet. And the mid lane is kind of similar to last game where Donkey Kong's picking up a strength hero, strength initiator hero. Meanwhile, Zero is playing a int kind of nuker type of hero that can put out a lot of harassment. So I expect the mid lane to kind of go similarly. Maybe save for a lot of deaths on the Hellbringer previous game. I don't think the Midas is as gankable as bottom rune. The Ophelia is going to be
Yeah,
aggressive.
I was watching this the whole time. Ophelia throws out the slow with the Catman nuke, but the Catman getting really low here. It's gonna get taken out, and the health potion gonna be just enough there for Scrap to make the escape, as he did take that Merrick's rune away from Ophelia.
Both runes go
So
to Backdoor Protocol then.
yeah, the Mystic rune gonna go to Midas there. So Ophelia should go back into her jungle to continue farming. And we will not have our Bloodlust kill just yet. But Corrupted Disciple, he's leading the way, 390 gold per minute. He's got 19 last hits. He has the current most last hits in the game. Moon Queen right behind him with 15, and then kind of falls off from there. Kraken doing quite well here, 14 and 7 creep score against the 10 and 4 Midas. I think a little bit of that is due to Midas going for that rune, with Kraken kind of just staying here in the mid lane, but still doing very well for that melee versus range matchup.
Definitely, it's actually really hard.
Bottom lane, hold that thought as Moon Queen. She's gonna go down for the Bloodlust kill here. Scrap and Rally get that one, as Ophelia is now here with Rhapsody going for a counter kill. Scrap, is he gonna fall here? The golden apple comes in clutch from Snark, as Ophelia went for that final auto attack hit, which would get the killing blow, but the golden apple coming in to save his life. Love seeing the use there of the consumables, and no counter kill gonna happen here despite having 3 heroes in the area. So beautiful, beautiful kill there on the Moon Queen, as I failed to mention the Chipper rotating down here, also assisting for that kill.
For sure. Kind of an
Corrupted is-
unexpected rotation, just all the way from the top lane, but really smart, I would say. I think he did port here, but I am not exactly sure.
Yeah, and perhaps even avoiding this lane ward, as that doesn't spot the rightmost side of the lane by the trees there. Perhaps even the Chipper coming as a surprise, as you were pointing out there. So what better hero to get the Bloodlust kill on than the Moon Queen for the side of Backdoor Protocol?
Haste turn top gonna be bottled by Kraken. He's activating it and running to the top lane, but he's gonna be spotted by the Sword of Sight placed by mcbubble. He's looking to gank this Corrupted, but without the release the Kraken, I am uncertain they're gonna have enough damage before perhaps Team Support arrives for Hellburn. He's taking
He's
his
going
time
in for
here.
the skill. There's the Torrent. He's going to line up the charge backwards. And Pharaoh, he will not land the Mummy Wall, but it will not matter. Midas whiffing the Lion's Pride there. Still having the Golden Salvo. And you know what? He used his Elemental Warp Ramaty, and that's going to be disastrous for him, as level 6 comes up on the Kraken following that kill. There's the release of the Kraken, and the rest is history. 2 kills go in the way of Donkey Kong. And that is some much needed momentum that they are trying to get themselves going here in game number 2. A couple of kills there onto both the mid and carry heroes. We talked about the importance of that Moon Queen Bloodlust kill, but those are some great response kills coming in from Donkey Kong, as we're going to see a fight over this pull camp down here in the bottom lane. Ophelia coming in from the flank with the Minotaur. She does line up the stun there onto the Chipper, as Moon Queen is here with Rhapsody, and they will get that kill onto the Chipper, overextending there at the pull camp. So Rally not in the area to get a compel on him to safety. They will get that 1 kill for nothing.
Yeah. Bit of a greedy positioning by the supports there against an Ophelia.
They're not done just yet. Actually, no, Ophelia will not pursue the kill there. She does throw out that Nature's Wrath slow.
So yeah, top lane, what do you think Corrupted's saving up for? He has 1500 gold put up, and no,
You know,
full boots.
that's a good question. Normally, whenever I see gold being amassed like this, it leads me to believe something like an Alchemist Bones, as it's going up against an Ophelia, could be a possibility. Now, with that in mind, do you necessarily think he needs to go for an Alchemist Bones here on the Corrupted?
I think Corrupted has decent farming mechanisms, as Kraken picks up top rune. This time it's an Invis and it's not being spotted by a ward. He instantly activates it and ports to the top lane.
Top lane, yeah, they're trying to set up again another kill here on the Corrupted, and if Corrupted leaves the safety net of his tower, he could definitely find himself in another predicament here, as Kraken already showcased once that his presence is not to be reckoned with. But Corrupted Looks like he's expecting something up, perhaps got that missing call from Midas in the mid lane. And, you know, we can kind of tell he has the information that something's just not right. But while this is going on bot lane, we have Moon Queen going down to the engagement here. Several heroes down here in the bottom lane. Rhapsody gonna get slowed up by the scrap there with that Zoomerang. And they're trying to find Ophelia. Compel comes in from the rally onto Midas. He warps in onto the Minotaur. And that's not what they were planning. They wanted to land that transmute on the Ophelia, but with the threat of the stomp there, they're gonna just take out the creep and call it a day, it looks like. But
In the
once again,
meantime,
Moon Queen falling, as
top
well as the
lane
Rhapsody.
corrupted died to Rat of the Pharaoh, released the Kraken combination as he walked up for a last hit and got caught. I was watching that
Yeah.
instead.
Glad you caught that. So 2 ultimates being used there by Donkey Kong to get that corrupted kill. So not too bad in the sense that Moon Queen does fall, so they do get the counter kill onto corrupted mid lane. We have Moon Queen rotating in now for some safer creep farm as she's trying to complete her steam boots here. Kraken's like, hey bro, that's my lane, where do I go now? As he's gonna, you know, go to this top rune area, possibly look to continue harassing this corrupted as they have the ward of sight down here. He's gonna throw out the torrent. Look at that damage coming in, Ramaty, as he's trying to line up the tsunami charge. Rhapsody coming in from the side here, and that's gonna be enough for a kill. So corrupted falling once again. That's 3 straight deaths here at the 8-minute
I
mark for
think
corrupted.
not picking up an early steamboat is really biting him in the bottom here.
Yeah. Goes for the alchemist bones as we kind of hinted at, saving all that gold. Not going to have that early build up to survive these Kraken engagements. As we see the rotations happening from the team support. Rally's going to go for the slam here following that compel, but not able to get it off as it does get cancelled. Rhapsody going to fall there as she just gets caught there as she is not with the marchers currently. So they do get something out of this corrupted disciple's death as they also find the ward there in the jungle.
But they also committed 4 heroes for the Rhapsody kill. Definitely wanted to walk out with more, I think.
Yeah, the real question is, did they use the TPs? Because now we can see Ophelia pushing the bottom lane, release the Kraken in the mid lane, locking down the Midas. And you know what, Ramaty? The Kraken ultimate there, Restrain, definitely going to play some big factor here in Midas being able to make his escapes or not, because the last patch that got changed to where you don't need to be pulled into the center anymore. You get Restrained as long as that release the Kraken is on top of you. So Midas finding
Right.
finding himself in trouble there.
It
as,
even canceled the animation of the Midas Warp.
Yeah,
yeah.
so definitely causing issues for him there. As the Ophelia push will be put on hold here. He's currently only level 5, so been playing very active this game, but not sporting the greatest GPM, only on 172. But they will not look to pursue this tower push here in the bot lane. As Pharaoh rotates down here to the bottom lane, Moon Queen still comfortably sitting in the mid lane to try to recover his farm, only at 250 gold per minute. So with Corrupted falling the 3 times so far, he's still about 80 gold per minute higher than the Moon Queen, who sits at the 1-2-1 stat line, a little bit nicer of a score.
Right.
But
he did have more or less a free lane. He just got ganked a lot afterwards. I do think he would have survived at least one of the ganks if he had completed Steam Boots before going for the greedy Alx bones.
Yeah.
But in the end, he is still, not to say in an ideal position, but not a too bad position. And I think Moon Queen recovering now is gonna be pretty
Touch
huge.
comes out here in the jungle. Midas is here in the area with an Invis kind of scouting things out. Will they look to kind of rotate over for a kill? We have the ward of sight down here from Donkey Kong on the cliff, and they're going to spot out Scrap in the area, but they don't know Midas's Invis here. Oh, there comes a word of revelation down. Here comes the Wrath of the Pharaoh, locking down Scrap with Ophelia. The Midas transmute not going to heal up Scrap in time, and Ophelia could be in some trouble now as the compel from Rally comes in. Release the Kraken is down now onto both the Rally and the Corrupted Disciple, locking them down, but Pharaoh, he's going to use the Wall of Mummies defensively as he does fall back, and Rhapsody is here with the Staccato Stunts on the Rhapsody, or Rally, excuse me, so many R heroes, as she will get the distance to safety, and the fight will conclude here. But it was, I believe, a 1-for-1 exchange here, trading the Ophelia for the Scrap.
I suppose position 4 for position 4. Not too bad for either team, but it looks like the Legion team has taken quite an early experience lead, as I expected, obviously from a jungle lineup. They always kind of take an XP lead. The goal is quite even, but still in favor of Legion, which kind of spells Oh, bottom
Rally
lane.
gonna get the slam combo off there onto the Pharaoh, getting him caught off guard there. Moonqueen not in the area to cancel that with a moonbeam, and yeah, we're gonna see again no counter kills coming out. Chipper gonna get that ward down here in the midst of the Legion's jungle, but
Hasty
without
scrap
any
running around.
without any mana, haste rune on the scrap, he's just gonna be zooming on by, feeling pretty confident with Pharaoh being dead, not to have that threat of the mummy wall to lock him down.
I
Kraken,
won.
he's got 1,200 gold saved up on top of a sacrificial stone, so he's on his way toward a portal key. What do you think about the decision there from him to go for that fully upgraded sacrificial stone? That is a pretty large gold investment, delaying his portal key at least for now.
I think just because they have the Pharaoh, it is okay to get a later PK on the Kraken than usual, because the Pharaoh provides initiation even without any items, so their team is not lacking initiation in the early game either. So I can understand having a bit more tanky presence as... Oops. Okay, never mind. They're just taking some ancients. And
Oh yeah, getting very low there. Moon Queen, not with a Whispering Helm just yet, but having the maxed out multi-strike, she's looking to take out these Ancients, feeling that she can't really step on the toes of Ophelia too much. He is currently only level 7 and does still need a little bit of gold towards his Ring of Sorcery. He's going to use a Veiled Rod here, speaking of him. We'll see what he looks to do here with this Veiled Rod being activated, but Rally continues to farm very freely in the bottom lane. We haven't really talked too much about him. We focused a lot on the Corrupted Disciple this game. He's already got a portal key and he's sitting on 500 gold. Now Ophelia's just going to break her Veiled Rod here in the mid lane. There comes the Skeleton King Grip into the swamps of the Illicit Crack, and that's going to be more than enough lockdown for the kill in the mid lane onto the Midas, but Rally going to take out the tower there with the assistance of Chipper.
top lane
in
scrap
the
being
bottom
jumped
lane.
by the Pharaoh.
Yes. Yep, Pharaoh not going to get enough damage out here. He goes for an early barbed armor, so not going for some more bulkiness there with something like a puzzle box or upgraded boots, as he does pop the barbed armor there. And Rhapsody will come in for some assistance, as I do believe he was going to be just fine there. I think he had the distance, but Rally was making his way over with the portal key, so they do prevent that follow-up from happening.
Good disengage by Legion. It was important they don't get caught to form a rotation, kind of making Hellbone waste their time is kind of a victory on its own.
It looks like okay, no, never mind. I thought Moonqueen gave control to Ophelia of the Catman. It was kind of moving with his army for a second there. It looked a little funny. I was like, oh, he's got another creep to work with, but no, Moonqueen gonna send that one over to the Ancients to, it looks like, start stacking those once again. But yeah,
Really
she's got her
aggressive.
Whispering Helm picked up now. Yep.
2 wards here by Hellburn team in the bottom lane Legion jungle area. They're almost running to mid lane. There's a fight on the Kraken, and Kraken's gonna go down to the Rally Slam and Rockets and Midas combo. That's a bit of too much damage, but he just picked up his portal key, so he's not too sad about that. He's not losing his portal
They're
key
looking to
time.
re-engage here. Ophelia trying to get in range, but she's not gonna find the distance there. She did use her Ophelia's touch for that fight as well, so not enough to save Kraken, just simply too much damage. Pharaoh in the top lane, he's trying to deal with this scrap, or Borax, excuse me, but he's gonna get jumped here by Rally and Midas, and look at that damage coming in. Even having 1400 HP, it doesn't save him from the Rally and the Midas.
Chipper's getting caught in a bit of an awkward position here, as he does get tableted by the Midas, and he's gonna get chased
gonna
here.
land onto Rhapsody. Here comes a release. The Kraken locking down several heroes. Ophelia here from the flank. Gonna lock them down with the Minotaurs as well. It's going to be a double tap for the Kraken. And Kraken definitely having some strong showing here in game number 2. He's looking for a third kill. He's going to find Chipper here. Will he get the auto attack off? There's the splash. Making a hat trick for Slaske, as he's going to try to make the escape here. Corrupted Disciple using that overload here. He's going to line up another charge as Rhapsody comes in with a melody, but they will secure the kill there. Make it a hat trick, or excuse me, a quad kill for the team, as Corrupted does fall there, picking up that Energizer and Steam Boots following that Alchemist Bones. Ophelia with the lockdown, just too much for Corrupted to handle there.
Great fight by Legion. Really, really huge release the Kraken by Slaska there. Looking down 2.5 heroes. I suppose Chipper wasn't fully in it, but uh, he still slowed him down quite a bit. And somehow Hellborn still has the gold advantage, though Legion has taken quite a substantial XP advantage here. I wonder if perhaps the Tome of Wisdom hasn't been purchased yet on Hellborn.
Yeah, the tome comes up at, I believe, the 15-minute mark, so they can look to buy into those. But if we take a look at the GPM chart, I think it kind of explains the lead there. We have 4 players above 250 gold per minute on the side of Hellborn. Despite having the top farmer on the Legion side being the Kraken, the supporting cast, starting with Pharaoh over to the left there with Ophelia and Rhapsody, not really sporting the best GPMs there. So Pharaoh, again, only having the barbed armor, no upgrade to his boots just yet. Ophelia having a rather slow start here, only level 10 with 200 GPM. She's only sitting on the sorcery boots, not having the astrolabe just yet. Not really in the most comfortable position as Moon Queen. She's slowly starting to recover now. She has the Firebrand picked up, but you know, ideally she would have liked to have been really close to her Geometer's Bane at this point. We're entering the 18-minute mark here. So Rally, he has the Mighty Blade picked up. He's working on what I believe to be a Shrunken Head. That will make life a lot easier for him, as there is a lot of interrupts for him to deal with this game to that slam. Do you think we'll see... Oh,
Exactly.
yeah, go ahead.
It was gonna be my question. Do you think we'll see the Staff of the Master on the rally, or we're gonna see it on another hero? Perhaps give it to the rally.
I like how you think, and I say that because I was going to pose the very exact same question to you. You know, that's a good question. I think I think if we see Rally continue this farming trend, I think the way the pace of the game is going, we will see the Shrunken into the staff, and I don't think we'll see Staff of the Master on anybody else. It could be on the Midas, but I think he'll be looking to go for other items. Items like the Portal Key, Eventual Sheepstick, or Storm Spirit, those kinds of items. We'll have a jump here from the rally in the bot lane as Kraken will get melted there by the Transmute with the Rocket Barrage follow-up from the Chipper. Chipper getting credit for that one, and that will take out the serial killer streak coming out from Slaske, as he was sitting on the 8-1 stat line previous to that death. He now drops below 400, or no, actually he's still on 410 GPM, but the tower falls in the top lane. Ophelia pushing that one, giving the kill credit over to the team. But will they address this bottom lane being pushed here by Backdoor Protocol, Ramaty, as we see all 5 in the area?
I do think with Kraken that they are gonna let it go at this point. Unless he respawns down, they can... I do think they can do something about it, but the question is, do they want to risk giving the lead?
Wrath of the Pharaoh comes out here. He's gonna land a 2-man wall of mummies. The tablets are happening. The compel from Rally as well, getting both players there out of the wall. And Pharaoh, he will get locked down. He does get the Ophelia stud from Ophelia. And will they get that Kraken jump that they're looking for? Kraken is currently Veiled Rotted. He's going to run into Scrap, but the port lands, and he will not get the Tsunami charge before that does happen. And all 5 players from Backdoor Protocol will fall back. A full disengagement coming out. And no kills happening the way of Donkey Kong.
Rally kind of running into Rhapsody and Ophelia, just saying hello there. For the king right on out of there.
Yep, definitely showing that he's not afraid.
That fight, even though nobody died, can tells us that Hellborn team is not really feeling confident to fight yet, as they all disengaged after they got jumped. Even though they kind of countered the Pharaoh right with the tablets, they still weren't ready to turn yet. So I do think they're waiting for another item, be it the Rally Shrunken, be it the Midas, perhaps Spell Shards. It's what I'm thinking maybe for him, or the Portal Key following it up.
So bottom tower is going to fall here to the Ophelia and team support push. Moon Queen up alone here in the top lane. We see the rotations happening by Backdoor Protocol. They don't have Rally up here with the Portal Key to necessarily get that jump happening, but Kraken ports in, expecting some possible engagement here, as they want to secure their ancients for the Moon Queen. Speaking of her, she is not going for that Geometer's Bane at least just yet. She does pick up a Mighty Blade, and it looks like Probus will be going for that early Shrunken Head, feeling he needs that magic immunity earlier rather than later. And what are your thoughts on him going for the Shrunken before the Geometer's Bane? Do you like that decision?
I think it's understandable completely. As we see that even the Kraken with all his bulkiness doesn't survive when he gets jumped by a Rally Midas chipper. Even with Ophelia heal, he doesn't survive. So I would say having that immunity to magic damage and magic sources, magic stuns, is definitely helpful for Busk. Even to feel safer to farm a bit more aggressive.
Yep, I agree with you there, as they don't really have also a way to stop a Shrunken Head TP once he gets that in his inventory. There is no superior stopper, at least that I'm seeing.
And I wonder what the Hellborn team, what item Hellborn team is waiting for. Perhaps it's 2 Shrunkens, one on the Corrupted, as I do think he's gonna pick one up next, as we see the Warhammer on him.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of magic damage he has to face here with the Moonbeams and the release of the Kraken on top of that Pharaoh. So a Shrunken definitely pretty necessary item, I'd say, for the Corrupted Disciple, but typically we see a lot of Dawnbringer pickups on the Corrupted Disciple. Are you surprised we're not seeing him build into the Dawnbringer this game? As speaking of that, we see a Release the Kraken catching him here following that Tsunami charge. I think Kraken could have even soloed him. That damage is just so much, but Pharaoh does use his Wrath of the Pharaoh there, secures that kill. Definitely not
In the
sad
bottom
to
lane,
see,
Rally's getting caught by the
Pharaoh
Ophelia
used.
lockdown, but it looks like he's gonna be just fine for now.
Yep, he has the portal key available. The rockets are coming in from Chipper. They're maybe even thinking about turning this one around, as he has the compel up in 1 more second. Will he re-engage here is the question. There's the Ophelia's touch being used by Ophelia, but they were not feeling like this was a fight that they wanted to take here.
So yeah, back to the
does go for the portal key, not the spell shards, but yeah, continue.
Back to the Corrupted item build. Yeah, I am a little surprised by not seeing a Dawnbringer, as it is just such a great overall item. It's almost good for any situation, as it provides quite a bit of stats. It provides the Lightburn, kind of provides an extra farming tool. So Corrupted can really benefit from a Dawnbringer. But I can't exactly say his current item build is incorrect. It is early game items, as with the Alchemist Bones, as like a backup plan for farming. But he has died 5 times now and he hasn't killed anyone yet, so hopefully that will turn around in the near future for him, as the Kraken has been shutting him down pretty properly.
Yeah, and speaking of the Kraken, we see a plate mail picked up. What do you expect that to turn into? Is that going to be a demonic, or will it be a Frostfield plate? Which one would you rather see picked up?
My vote's kind of on the Frostfield plate, just because of the Corrupted just having such high mobility. Slowing it down is gonna be key, and they get the mid tower too, and this is what I kind of mean by running the Ophelia as like a tower taker.
The Disciple, okay, they won't choose to engage there as the Torrent does slow him up.
Oh, creeps just take out top tower for Legion, giving the lead back to Hellborn.
Yeah, and that tier 2 tower down in the bot lane was actually denied by Ophelia, so they did deny a little bit of gold over to Backdoor Protocol. But I'm gonna disagree with you. I'm gonna say that I think he's gonna go for a demonic breastplate, and they're just gonna feel that the extra armor from the demonic will be the team armor, rather I should say, will be a nice tool against the Corrupted and the Rally. But,
Smoked up Hellborn team.
Yeah, we see they might want to fight these ancients here.
Oh my god,
Pharaoh is going to run into Rally. Here's the Shrunken Head being used. There's the slam following up the Midas transmute. The Ophelia's touch will not be enough to save the Pharaoh. We have an immediate buyback here. Will they get the engagement though that they're looking for, or will this Pharaoh buyback be for nothing, as we have the entire side from Backdoor Protocol just fall back? They force out the buyback, and they recognize that they used just a little bit too much with the Shrunken Head on the Rally. They don't want to re-engage, so will they look to secure themselves a Kongor kill here, Ramaty, with that buyback?
Yes, they need to get something out of it. I think that's a good timing to do it. The Moon Queen just hit her Shrunken Head. And yeah, the buyback is kind of a throwaway right now because Halberd team really did great with disengaging, but the War Axe is actually pushing on the base, and this base tower is gonna take some heavy damage here.
Yeah, double damaging on the Midas. There's the Ophelia going to, he gets the grip off with the Skeleton King, but this is more so just preventing the push from happening as Vorax is going to eventually fall. But we can see the tower pressure there being put on by that Vorax, getting the tower to around 500 life. Definitely nothing to scoff at, as that will definitely make a later push quite easier.
The gank
Top lane,
duo,
we have Rally getting caught here, and he does have his slam and his compel still up. Shrunken Head still applied here. He goes in for the compel. He does miss it onto the Pharaoh, but there's the transmute landing, and Pharaoh, I don't see him getting out of this one. This is a 5-man rotation from the side of Backdoor Protocols. They get 2 kills onto both the Kraken and the Pharaoh, both initiators falling here. And they could quite possibly turn this into a tier 2 tower push with the numbers advantage in their favor now.
unfortunate for Donkey Kong there. I think the idea was right to make a play there, but they were. I think they made so many plays top lane that Backdoor Protocol kind of expected it and they baited the rally there. I think that was actually a deliberate bait by them, and both mid and mid tier 2 for Hellborn is taking a lot of pressure from Moon Queen, but I think they're gonna be faster in taking the top tier 2 tower.
Yeah, that one's going to fall there as Moon Queen uses her Geometer's Bane. She's going to bring this tower down as well. She's sitting on 1,500 gold here. What would you like to see Moon Queen pick up as her 3rd tier item here, as she does have both the Shrunken and the Geometer's Bane? Pretty traditional Moon Queen build
Right.
here. Will it be
What
something
we
like the
usually
Wingbow or
see,
the
yeah,
Singular
is the
Rage?
wing bow. I think the wing bow is gonna be next. One thing that sometimes Moon Queens do pick up is an Assassin Shroud into Genjiro instead of a wing bow, because in this case, well, the only right clicker really is the Corrupted, and if they manage to kite him, it can be good to have a Genjiro, but I think the wing bow is just overall the correct choice. I think the Moon Queen is a hero where the item build's kind of like not really versatile. It's it's usually just correct to go this route and
Yeah.
not worry about so much. And I like this game because this game Proba's got to recover and he's actually sitting at 522 GPM, unlike the Sandraid game last game. So now, even though Backdoor Protocol I think still has the advantage for now, we can
Moon Queen's
potentially
getting
see,
scary, yeah.
yeah, a turnaround here with this Moon Queen having the most farm in the game right now.
So, speaking of Moon Queen, Corrupted Disciple, he's got 3,000 gold in the bank. We kind of hinted at items like the Dawnbringer, which he hasn't kind of looked to build into. He has the Shrunken and the Energizer. More of an old school style of build. Does he look to kind of see what Moon Queen does go for first before looking to invest into an item, as he's kind of a little bit behind the Moon Queen? Or does he kind of just stick to his guns, pick up whatever he feels is necessary as his next item? I guess the overall question here is what should Corrupted be looking to build into next?
I think as we have a spot, so we'll have time to explain this time. uh,
Okay.
so I think it's gonna be not a there's not gonna be a scenario where Corrupted just going toe to toe with Moon Queen 1v1. So he doesn't really need to just counter Moon Queen in with his items. So
Okay.
waiting for a Wingbow to pick up a Savage Mace, I think is disagreeable by me.
Yeah,
And
I
I would
agree too.
still like to see the Dawnbreaker on him, even with his current items. It's just such a good overall item. It gives mobility, it gives damage, it gives a lot, and I think he could still benefit for it, even though it is gonna be a bit later than ideal, I would say. But
Okay.
that, or perhaps, well, a geometers could work, but there's not a lot he can disjoint with it, and corrupted is not does not benefit from the illusion spirit push either, like the Moon Queen. So
Right.
it's not that great. I think if he's gonna go that route, that just pick up Dawnbringer. So I think my number one choice is just Dawnbringer.
Okay, yeah. I think the Dawnbringer would be a fantastic item. I'd like to see him start building pieces to that, as he has a lot of gold in the bank, which would help him farm faster, as well as just give him extra mobility. Now, we'll talk about some of the other heroes as well as we're in a pause here. Scraps has a trio of items, Tablet, Astrolabe, and Gnomes. Has a lot of utility there. I think it's safe to say his items are pretty solid. Is there anything you'd like to see him kind of building into next? A hero that, even as a support, he's kind of able to pick up a lot of farm with Borax kind of split pushing the map, kind of getting him gold, even if he's not in the area. What would
Yeah,
you like to see out of Scrap later?
I think he's since we do have a Storm Spirit on the Midas, I think he's Scraps can start saving up for a sheep
Sheep stick?
perhaps in the future.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's also gonna be good for the upcoming possible Wingbow on the Moon Queen. And overall, sheep is just also an item that you never hate to see on any team. So
Yeah, I like that.
it's just overall as we do see the unpause now. So explain time's over.
So you mentioned the Storm Spirit on Midas. That was my next step here, as he picks up the tablet and portal keys. His first two items. He's had those for a while. We did hint at something like a Storm Spirit or a Sheep Stick. So you mentioned Sheep Stick possibly on the Scrap. Midas going for a Storm Spirit. Definitely a good way to combat this Kraken ultimate on top of the Pharaoh jumping either himself or his allies. So definitely, I think we like that pickup there. Rally now has his Shrunken Head picked up. He's on almost 3,000 gold. We kind of hinted at a Staff of the Master. We'll hopefully see if he decides to go for that route. And Chipper as the main support here. Still on 230 gold per minute, not too bad. Himself has the tablet
Not
picked
too
up.
bad. He's struggling with XP though. It looks like he's always staying out of the fights, like out of XP range. It's only level 9 at 31 minutes. That's kind of unfortunate. I hope he's gonna pick up a tome soon, as that would boost him, I think, at least 2 if not 3 levels right away.
Yeah, I think level 12 maybe even could get, or the tome could get him that amount of XP. But I'm gonna flex my guns a little bit here, as Kraken did pick up the demonic.
damn
I
it.
win the 50-50 over
I
you
lost
there.
that bet.
But I personally, I was talking about it. I like the demonic breastplate just a little bit more over the frostfield plate. And a lot of the reasoning for that, I talked about the armor aspects for his team against the rally and the corrupted. He gets more attack speed, whereas the frostfield plate doesn't necessarily give him that. It just kind of bumps up his utility with the slow and the attack speed reduction aura. But I like the idea of the attack speed, as Kraken is going to transition into a very nice damage assistance to the Moon Queen with those constant splash hits. But again, still not a whole lot coming out of the Pharaoh. The Ophelia, he's got the Astrolabe, he's building towards that barrier idol, which he needs, I believe, around 700 or so gold remaining. So that will be a nice teamfight assistance tool for them once he does complete that barrier idol. But it does look like we'll see the Wingbow. No Shroud picked up on the Moon Queen. He goes to the Dancing Blade, and that generally means the inevitable Wingbow pickup, as
Definitely.
very, very powerful pickup for the Moon Queen. Before that, Sheep Stick, of course, does get picked up. So I think we'll see the traditional Wingbow into Symbol of Rage follow-up item. We'll see if Probus does decide to go for that, but he continues to reign the charts here. 560 gold per minute now. As Donkey Kong groups up here. Yep.
Picked up the tome now, as he magically is now 4 levels higher.
He just got 4 levels out of nowhere.
Never under leveled.
Never a bad experience performance when Tome's in the game. But yeah, the Wingbow, I think he's just about got enough gold for that, and they do take out the tier 2 tower in the bot lane. They're hovering around this Kongor area. Do they feel confident enough to take that out? Looks like they're trying to do the de-warding here with the Rhapsody and the Word of Revelations. But there we can see Moon Queen right-clicking the Wingbow to find out pieces there. She's got that being delivered. And I think Backdoor Protocol, they're trying to get Rally enough time here to finish his staff. He's sitting on 3,800 gold. He's very close, and that will be a huge damage increase to their team fight if he's able to line that up onto several targets. So
yeah, I'm kind of impressed by
Rally
Rally.
stuff.
Keeping up his farm all this game, even though he's kind of set up the most ganks in his team as well, and keeping up the farm as well. So I'm impressed by Yahardig. I'm sorry for any Swedes for that pronunciation.
That didn't sound Swedish enough to me, and I'm
Sorry.
I'm not an expert in Swedish by all means, but if anyone's gonna have a closer Swedish accent out of the two of us, I'd give it to you. As you're Hungarian, you're a little bit closer to the
Right.
area, but there's the barrier idol picked up by Ophelia.
Okay, so we
So
do see the corrupted disciple Savage Maze, which we said we would not like to see, but
mhm.
he decides to go for that. Well, there is logic in it, so it's not the worst thing in the world. At least it's logical, where he wants to hit the Moon Queen, but
Yep.
I would have still liked to see something else. Oh wow, two gangs of smoke just running next to each other in the bottom lane as
Midas, he's gonna jump in. There's the storm onto the Moon Queen, but Kraken was there all along baiting it, and Midas will go down to that. Release the Kraken. Here comes the Shrunken Head being used by Rally. He goes in with the slam. It does some solid damage, but again, Backdoor Protocol just getting outnumbered here. Simply thinking the Moon Queen was all by herself, but as we could see, it was bait all along from the side of Donkey Kong, and they wipe out both the initiators there from the side of Backdoor Protocol. So what will they do with this 45-second window? 2 players dead without any buybacks, Ramaty. Will they be able to get some racks damage here, or will they go for one of the Kongors?
I would definitely go for Hellborn Kongor here as Rhapsody is counterboarding it, so I think they are going to do it. Because their own Kongor is also spawned, so they could get a token of life on the Moon Queen, who is now past 600 GPM, so he's now definitely in the danger zone in terms of Hellborn team. And yeah, I think Moon Queen's in a great spot right now to carry this game, and this Kongor is falling really fast.
Yeah, so even with those 2 deaths, we still see Backdoor Protocol in a gold lead. Now that's going to shift a little bit here. There we go. As the Kongor falls, we have a 500 gold lead, Ramaty, at 35 minutes in. You couldn't ask for too much closer of a gold disparity between the 2 teams, as only the experience being a little bit farther. 3,700 for the side of Legion, and again, that's due to them having the jungler of Ophelia, just leaning them a little bit in their favor. But, you know, this game is about as even as we could ask for. Here we're going to have the Storm Spirit onto Kraken, but Pharaoh's going to get the initiation here on the Corrupted Disciple. Tablet does happen on him, and they're looking to turn this one around. Release the Kraken. Not the best placement coming in from Slaske, as that's going to cue Backdoor Protocol to possibly pursue this fight. Ophelia engaging with Rally over here, locking him down. He gets the Shrunken Head off. Meanwhile, in the background, Corrupted Disciple and Midas, they do take out both the Pharaoh and the Rhapsody. Moon Queen pops the Shrunken and the Moon Finale. She's hunting for some kills. They will get the Midas. Corrupted is now on the run as the Shrunken does wear off. He's going to hold his ground here, but he's going to get locked down. Will he be able to man up? He does get the Ophelia kill, but Moon Queen is fighting strong as only Scrap and Rally and Chipper are alive in the area. Meanwhile, Kraken fighting 2 in the background. The Rockets, he will actually go down to the creeps there as Rally ports out, or no, that's Chipper porting out, excuse me, in the trees. And Moon Queen will not get that final kill, but 4 players dead, only Moon Queen survives. But the Scrap and the Chipper, the 2 supports, so you know, I think even though it was a 4-for-3 exchange, I think you'll be happy if you're Donkey Kong that your Moon Queen survives. She's looking to solo the Kongor
definitely
here.
agree with you. I was gonna actually say earlier that even though Backdoor Protocol is in the gold lead technically, I still feel like Donkey Kong is in control of the game. But as I say that, the Vorax has been pushing his
wow, I
bottom
didn't
lane.
even realize Vorax was tier. The big rat, as I like to call him, the big rat pushing the bot lane there, gets the tower. So that's a little bit of a you know, of a shining light of hope there for the side of Backdoor, as Kongor now going to be worked on here with the team support respawning here.
I do believe it's still in time for a token of life to spawn for Legion here.
But they have 39 seconds on that Kongor Slayer, giving them that token of life. Moon Queen's gonna pop the Shrunken here as the engagement is happening. Chainsaw is down in the Kong pit. Rhapsody getting taken down very low. Midas jumping in to try to combo him, and does miss the combo. But Kraken, he has us release the Kraken, locking down both the Scrap and the Rally. Rally is going to fall as he cannot get his compel off. That release the Kraken restraint just too darn strong, and Moon Queen looks like she will secure herself that Kongor as Midas will retreat, but Kraken gonna get Storm Spirited up as he's on the chase. Will he get the find that he's looking for? There's a torrent coming out. Midas will warp to safety, and Kraken without the portal key available to get him that tsunami charge jump, not gonna pursue the Midas there. So token of life on the Moon Queen with Symbol of Rage Ramaty and a buyback. Moon
And
Queen
no
looking
buybacks for 2 heroes either. from
Mooncree
Helmer.
looking to be a force to be reckoned with here. Yeah, you pointed out the no buybacks here, so it's going to be a 3-on-5. This tower is going to melt once the Glyphthus were up. Here's a Wrath of the Pharaoh locking down the Corrupted Disciple. They're going to get the charge back, and he is just going to melt as he gets pushed into the entire Legion team. He does have a buyback. He's dead for 80 seconds otherwise, but this Rax will fall. Rally is respawning in 5 more
Are they going for the
seconds.
throw?
Grab is alive with a sheepstick. I don't know about this decision to go throw Ramaty, as we do have a sheepstick on the scrap and a buyback on the Corrupted Disciple. He's going to need to use that buyback here. The tier 4 towers are melting. The buyback is going to happen. The tier 4 towers are going to fall. Milkweed pops the symbol. Or no, does not pop the symbol. She pops the shrunken head. She is going to melt the Corrupted Disciple. Even with the shrunken head activated, it's going to be a double tap for Probusk, and there's the GG's
And the GG by
called.
Probusk.
There's we wait for those GGs all the time, Ramaty, as they only happen when there are the victories. But a very nice victory nonetheless, as the Kongor token of life does prevail them here as they finish that one off with a 10,000 golden experience lead. But this one does end the old-fashioned way with the sacrificial shrine falling. And you know what that means, Ramaty? Donkey Kong winning game 2. We got a third and final game coming up, as that one will even the series at 1 game apiece. So, final thoughts here on game number 2.
Very exciting game. I think it could have gone either way. And the difference maker was obviously Mooqueen getting to recover. And I don't know, the conclusion of the game is just Probusk GG. So life is complete.
Life is complete indeed, but we're going to have a third and final game. As I pointed out, this one is not done just yet. So we're going to go on a short break here as we get game number 3 ready. And stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. The third and final game coming up here in semifinal number 1 between Backdoor Protocol and Donkey Kong. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are here once again with the ClanTour number 1 tourney, semifinal number 1 between Backdoor Protocol here on the Legion side, taking on Donkey Kong here on the Hellborn side. We are all tied up at 1 game apiece. This is the third and final game. Winner moves on to the finals to await the winner of semifinal number 2. I am What You Got once again. Going to be rejoined here by Ramaty. We're in game number 3, Ramaty. What's going to happen? Who is going to take this game and the series?
At this point, it's really exciting. It's really anyone's game because I think Donkey Kong just got a huge confidence boost from that second game, which was actually really close, which arguably feels better to win a close game than a really one-sided Storm game. So I do believe they're feeling good about themselves now, and they're gonna be not really restrained by the fact that it is 1-1. I think they're gonna be playing their game, and Snark's team needs to reset mentally, and hopefully they can bring their A game like they have been doing so far.
Right, you are. We're going to see who brings the A game to game number 3 now, as we have the bans completed. We have Jeremiah, Accursed, and Gauntlet going to be banned out here by the side of Donkey Kong, Monarch, Ophelia, and Rhapsody going to be banned out here by Backdoor Protocol. So we got a couple different bans there in game number 3. What did you notice there from the bans?
I noticed that he banned Ophelia this time, which I kind of said in the game before that if they do end up losing, they're probably gonna ban it this time because obviously it's just like the strat is really hard to counter around Ophelia. Other than that, I noticed that HOIME has been banning Jeremiah Cursed every single game, so he must really respect those heroes in the hands of Snark and his team. And we're gonna see a Tempest pick, so HOIME, Donkey Kong really going with the junglers here, it seems.
So we have Cthulhuphon and Master of Arms prior to that Tempest pick, as we have 3 picks here picked up by the side of Donkey Kong. You pointing out the jungle lineup possibly in the works here with the Tempest. So it worked for them in game number 2. They're going for a similar style of strategy here in game number 3. But we have the Nymphora and the Magnus picked up so far for Backdoor Protocol. Not revealing too much of their lineup, but the Nymphora pick for me, especially kind of standing out there, promoting perhaps a more aggressive style of strategy here from Backdoor Protocol, strategy that definitely kind of favors their play style. And I'm thinking specifically, we could see something like that Dampier picked up to pair with the Nymphora, similar style of hero. What do you think we're going to see moving forward here as the bans are almost complete, following up that
Right.
Nymphora and Magnus picks from the Legion side.
Having banned the Dampier, obviously, we're not gonna see that anymore, but we could still see perhaps a Doctor pick, which is also a similar magic damage, a lot of mana usage type of hero, though it is a bit weak in the lane. So if Donkey Kong decides to put multiple heroes against it, which I obviously doubt because they have the Tempest now, but obviously the Doctor is not the strongest laner. But they could look to pick
Hmm.
that up with the Nymphora, or they could just stand in an aggressive tri lane on into the face of Donkey Kong, saying that we have Nymphora, we are gonna out spam you with spells, perhaps, and just win the lane by simply out harassing them. They have a couple options still, uh, but I do feel like Holmes' strategy is kind of already there's a strong contender
You
of
are not
what
worthy
Holm
to
is
look
gonna do
upon
with
my
his lineup here
majesty.
and
Hmm.
how they're gonna lane as King
Yeah,
Cloud.
so yeah, before we talk about that, I just want to finish going over the bands here. We had Gemini and Flux and Parallax going to be the bands from Backdoor Protocol. A lot of the times we see Gemini and Parallax banned out against Donkey Kong, as those are some of their signature heroes. We talked a lot about the Sandwraith in the first two games, but Parallax definitely a standout one there, as well as Gemini for Pro Busk. The Flux on top. Just synergizing very well with the Tempest that they've already picked up. They don't want to have to deal with that possible combination. You mentioned the Dampier, and then the Oogie and the Balfagor are going to be banned out there from Donkey Kong. So a couple of different ones there. We saw Oogie played yesterday against Big Ego Crew. But now we'll talk about the picks. Is King Clout and Torch are going to be the next two from the side of Backdoor Protocol. What do you think about those two picks there?
I think King Cloud's a bit of an underrated hero. It never really gets picked. I never really see it by anyone else but Backdoor Protocol. I think it's although his cooldowns are a bit long, it is obviously a superior cancel to Tempest, though I doubt
Hmm.
they're gonna use it that way. I think the hero is more suited to initiate. But overall, their picks really are screaming mid game aggression again. It looks like Snark's really drafting towards the mid game aggression lineups today.
Hmm. So with the Magnus and the Torture picked up on top of that Nymphora, what do you think we're going to see, or who do you rather think we're going to see as the priority farmer, and who do you think we're going to see as the support with these picks?
I think Zero is going to be playing King Cloud, and I think King Cloud or Torture. I think no, he's gonna play King Cloud, and we're gonna see, I think, a farming Torture, perhaps even in the safe lane, and maybe an in for a tri lane,
I'm going to
aggressive tri
disagree
lane.
with you. I just want to throw this in before we see the final pick. I think
Right.
we're going to see a Torturer mid on Zero and a King Clout in the short lane on Snark. I think we're going to see an aggressive tri lane come out, which you kind of pointed at. With that Tempest pickup being a little bit more passive for Donkey Kong, I think we're going to see Backdoor Protocol bring the aggression this game with a tri lane and possibly see maybe Conatus play the tri lane farmer. We'll have to wait and see. Maybe even Yogg, as the core player there. I'm expecting King Clout to go to Snark actually, so that's my
Right.
prediction.
So we
As
agree they're gonna tri lane aggressively. We're just saying that Zero or Snark are gonna play Torture or Cloud
right,
is different. Okay,
yeah.
fair, fair.
So that's my bold prediction.
Right.
But Midas and Swiftblade, the final two picks there for Donkey Kong. It looks like I think we're gonna see a Master of Arms main support, which I believe Donkey Kong ran yesterday against Golden Apple. They have the Swiftblade there as the hard carry. Midas going to be the secondary core there, most likely in the mid lane for Slaske, as Holme will probably take that Cthulhu font into the off lane. But they are running that Jungle Tempest this game, so they have that a little bit more passive style of lineup. There's going to be the Madman on the fifth and final pick of the match. So we have both lineups now complete, Ramaty. With that Madman, what do you think about the two lineups from both sides?
I really like Snark's Madman pick here because it allows them to transition into the late game better than they did with the CD. And they have overall a pretty great lineup. And
Entire
later in the
decoy
game,
out.
obviously the Tempest would come into play with perhaps a big hole, but I think Snark is going to transition from perhaps jumping into the face of the enemy to saving his ultimate to cancel Tempest every time. The later the game goes. And overall, obviously, you're now 2-0 against me in terms of bets, as you predicted it, right? Snark is going to be playing the Cloud, but he is going mid, so I was actually.
We're
Let's
we're half right. We're each half right. And I was gonna say this. Torture being played by Zero, but not in the mid lane. He's actually playing a secondary support Torture. We have Magnus in the core, position 3 here, with the Hatchet going into that top lane, and they do send Madman to the safe lane with Nymphora. So they're not gonna go for the aggressive tri lane, which we had predicted. They're gonna go for more of a traditional 2-1-2 lane setup, it looks like, as we have the Master of Arms and Switchblade going into the top lane, Midas into the mid lane, and Cthulhuphon in the bottom lane. So I think we correctly predicted Donkey Kong's lane set up a little bit easier there with the jungler, but they're not looking to necessarily dodge the aggression. They are still sending their Switchblade to the top lane, but the lineup from Backdoor Protocol, at least the laning stage, kind of throwing us off a little bit there. But we did get the player hero combinations for the most part correct. So
Right.
now with that being said, now that we do see the 2-1-2 from our Legion side, what do you think about the early laning stage? Who's going to come out on top? Who has the advantages?
I think I think Legion needs to get a lot out of their laning stage because the Tempest obviously farms a lot faster than the Ophelia early game. So the further the Tempest farms, the more ahead Hellborn will be. So they need to counter that golden experience advantage by shutting down certain lanes, such as the top lane comes to mind first, the Swiftblade MOA, and I'm just not sure that a Magnus Torture will be able to apply enough pressure to make up for the GPM loss here. So I would perhaps like to see the tri lane a bit more.
Hmm. So not necessarily agreeing with the 2-1-2 setup, at least initially. We'll see if we do see any rotations, perhaps by Nymphora as Madman. Uh, I don't know if he'd necessarily win the matchup against Cthulhuphon by himself, but the goal here is at least to get him that lead, get the levels early on the Nymphora so she can get that teleport as fast as possible, where they can start to bring the aggression further. But yeah, it's safe to say I think we're gonna see or need to see a lot out of this Tempest. Are you expecting him to go into a lot of early game items? Do you think we'll see items like the sorcery boots or the mana ring into the astrolabe? Do you think we'll see a quicker portal key? What are you expecting from Tempest here in game number
Uh,
3?
the Tempest expert is asking me. I think you'll
Exactly. You're
correct
my
me if I
insight.
say
You're my
anything
insight
wrong.
guy. I want to know what
So
you're thinking here.
so the Tempest educational that I watched recently
Okay, all right. We're going back to the
on
educationals. Got it.
on a very good YouTube channel called youtube.com/what you got.
Something like
Usually
that.
buys usually buys Alchemist Bones and Tempest, which
Oof.
obviously I can get behind it having the extra gold though. Having to answer the early aggression or the mid game aggression from Legion team, buying an Alchemist could be actually too greedy here for Tempest. So
I
I
agree.
would like to see the what you mentioned, the kind of team fighty lineups. Sorry, items like the Astrolabe, such, and then
Yeah, I think even
perhaps the
picking up
portal key coming
investments on top of
later.
Astrolabe could be very good this game, getting a little bit of a later portal key, as they do have lots of ways to stop that early game with the King Clout, especially we talked about him later in the game with the fear mechanic there from the Parade of Power. But outside of that, they have stuns on almost every hero outside of the Madman, so will be difficult for Tempest to get off an Elemental Void. We'll see if any tablets as well or utility style items get picked up by their Legion side, but I think it's safe to say building a little bit tankier on the Tempest, just kind of building around perhaps pushing towers early game could be the way to go this game. We'll see what he does decide to go for. But yeah, we kind of talked about the laning phase quite extensively. We're having the 2-1-2 from Legion, the pseudo tri lane with the Tempest in the top lane, and the two solo lanes from Donkey Kong in the mid and bottom lane.
I have
Is
a
the bottom
question.
lane? Oh, go ahead. Yeah, sure.
I have a question for you, quite specifically regarding Torture's skill build here, as he is
Okay.
facing a Swiftblade. So, if you were Torture in this game, would you go for the Impalement, which is more like an overtime damage, but overall more damage than the
Yeah,
Agonizing Bonds, or
I
just go
would
for the
definitely.
Bonds? Okay,
I would definitely
see.
go for Impalement this game, even if he's played in more of a supportive role. I think having that damage output against the Blade Frenzy is just so good. But I was going to pose a question to you. The bottom lane here, 2 versus 1, Cthulhu Font. Do you think he's going to be able to get good farm and experience down here? One or the other? Both? How do you think the bottom lane's going to go? Is Madman just going to have too much sustain with the mana feeding potential from Nymphora, the heals, you name it?
I think definitely he will have to struggle with a lot of spam spells against him. If the Nymphora decides to skill his Grace of the Nymph, which not all Nymphoras do. Some Nymphoras just skip the spell entirely as it only helps sustain the lane. But Cthulhu already level 2 here, so he's definitely getting some levels and putting some counter pressure onto the Nymphora.
Yeah, you activates the Obliterate there. Still has the Trample ready to go if he feels he has an opening for a kill. No Nymphora pod, Volatile pod specifically it's called there, to kind of heal him back up. So Cthulhu already getting good experience. Up in the top lane we had, I believe the stun combination coming out already once. So Magnus does have enough mana for another Lava Surge if they feel that they want to do that once again. But 6 and 4. Magnus against the 3-1 Switchblade. So already this lane causing some good pressure. Magnus getting good last hitting up here. And Tempest off in his jungle already hitting level 3 before the 2-minute mark. So off to a good start as he's 230 gold per minute, the top on his team. But Madman, King Clout, and the Magnus all doing quite well so far. King Clout on 10 and 2 against the 7 and 0 Midas. So King Clout doing well in that melee versus range matchup there in the mid lane. Does that surprise you? Do you think King Clout has an advantage over Midas, or do you think this is a pretty evenly matched mid lane?
I think this is quite farm-wise, quite evenly matched. Obviously, King Cloud has the Goblin Toss that is a ranged ability, so can assist him in last hitting quite well. So it would be hard for the Midas to prevent him from farming at all. But at the same time, deny-wise, there is no advantage to the King Cloud, so technically.
Yeah, also Midas kind of coming online at that level 4. We see a transmute landing here on the King Clout. Now he does have the warp, but he doesn't decide to go for it, forcing out the health potion from King Clout. Regardless though, so he'll get nice and healthy there with the bottle being delivered to him. Midas going for the early mana battery, so not having his bottle at least just yet, but the bot rune is still down there, being that Mystic Illusion rune. There's neither side going for that one just yet. Looks like Midas thinking about heading down there as he does have the bottle being delivered to him now. So gonna get the first rune of the game. That's a pretty nice one for Midas to get, as that will lower his cooldowns and mana cost to allow him the ability to spam a little bit more.
Definitely.
But Tempest now level 5. He is the highest level in the game with the King Clout there in the mid lane. But just got his gold for that Ring of Sorcery here at about the 3.5-minute mark. So already doing very well there on the Tempest. Cthulhu level 3 in the bottom lane against the Madman Nymphora lane, but we see level 3 on the Nymphora. She's doing quite well with the pulls there, getting the experience. She's leveled 111 skill build, so she will be looking to feed that mana over to the Madman, as he's currently very low on the mana pool. But Magnus 18 and 7, Swiftblade only 9 and 1. Ramaty, does that surprise you that Probusk doing not that great here early on, 4 minutes in, only sitting on 9 creep kills?
A little bit, as I didn't see him being kept that low HP that he is not confident enough to go for last hit. So I'm a little bit surprised, but at the same time, it is quite a strong lane, the Torture Magnus. But I think it's fair to say that he's being shut down here.
So we have level 3s on both the Magnus and the Torture. Will they look to do any kind of engagements, or are they just completely content with just contesting up here? We have Tempest with an Elemental Void and a Veiled Rot ready to go. Looks like they're going to try to line this one up on the Torture. There comes the overcharge shot into the Glacial Bellstorm. The Blade Frenzy going to secure that Bloodlust kill as Torture. Without an escape, he will fall to the barrage of spells there from our Hellborn side. And a little bit of a later Bloodlust kill, Ramaty, 5 minutes in. This one took a little bit longer, so perhaps the team's being a little bit more, passive here in game number 3. Again, this is going to be the final match of the series, so neither team necessarily wanting to make any slip-ups here. going for
Definitely not.
too much overextensions anywhere, but a nice rotation from the Tempest to set up that Bloodlust kill.
It kind of there's only one lane this bloodlust could kind of happen in, unless obviously Cthulhu Fund could make a mistake in the bottom lane. But if no mistakes happen, I think top lane is the killer lane here, as they're going to go aggressive on the Switchblade with the Parade of Power, and Switchblade's getting dangerously low here as he's spinning out of
Lava
here.
Surge coming up in 5 more seconds. He's going to use the health pot to get himself that safety net, but Master of Arms getting outnumbered here. The double stuns coming in from the Torture, and the Magnus going to secure that kill. Midas is here now with the TP. He tries to light up the transmute. It will only land on the King Cloud. Magnus going to make the escape. Here comes a solo Elemental Void, but Torture will cancel that one immediately. A great spread coming out from the side of Backdoor Protocol as King Cloud's holding his ground. He's going for the turn kill, but not going to happen as Tempest will just be a little bit too tanky, and Magnus off to the side dies to the Swiftblade. So the team support coming in from both the Tempest and the Midas proves to be a little bit too much, as they did lose their initially. Meanwhile, at the tower, Midas snipes out the Torture, no boots to sidestep those spells, and another kill going the way of Donkey Kong. They are off to a 4-1 hero kill lead, Ramaty, spotting a 600 gold and 1500 experience lead here at the 6.5 minute mark.
Definitely not how Backdoor Protocol imagined that gang going, and really unfortunate Swiftblade got to live with 1 HP, perhaps a bit of unlucky there, and he also happened to have a health potion which allowed him to turn on the Magnus later. And more unfortunate things for Backdoor is that Torture not only died, but he also used a golden apple and a health pot before dying to make sure he survives, and that's an extra 175 gold just gone to waste there, unfortunately for him.
Yeah, so he's currently only on 84 GPM. He is the lowest in the game, so again, that's not going to help his cause. Middle lane, we have Tempest coming in with the Glacial Blast stun. Midas does not have a transmit, at least currently. Could have started that one off with a transmit. Here's going to be the invisibility rune forced out from Backdoor Protocol onto the Midas, and nobody going to fall as Nymphora came in with the heal support to keep King Cloud nice and healthy there, surviving that attempted gank from Donkey Kong.
I think they're gonna look to kill the Madman with his invincibility as he rotates down to the bottom lane, and Cthulhu kind of pushing the lanes so that the Madman shows himself. And he doesn't have Steam Boots again, he's going the greedy Quick Cleaver, so if he does die here, it's gonna hurt his farmer a lot.
Yeah, he's got that Warhammer on top of the Life Tube, as you pointed out, not finishing more stats, going for the greedier route. Here comes the Trample being lined up. There is the combo from Midas. The heal will be blown up immediately from Nymphora, but it's not enough to survive the Obliterate from Cthulhu Font. And, you know, perhaps if he had Steam Boots there, that would have kept him alive, got him the distance to safety, but we're going to see a nice gank coming in from Donkey Kong as they pick up another kill. This one very crucial as Madman was getting very close to his Rune Cleaver. Still sitting on 372 gold per minute. He is the top for his team. Here we have a Blade Frenzy in the top lane on top of that Acid Bomb. Torture did not make the escape from that one. Just too much damage from the goo and the spin. And that will be another kill going the way of Donkey Kong here as they pick up the serial killer streak on the Swiftblade.
Top lane, I'd like to point out. Obviously, they lost the fight there before, but level 5 Magnus, level 5 Torture versus level 7 and level 6 MOA, Swiftblade and MOA. So, Hellburn team definitely doing something right in this lane to gain such an XP lead. And it's really showed in this gang right here where Magnus just couldn't do anything to save the Torturer there.
Yeah, I agree. We have the Swift Slash is still available and the threat of the Master's Call to provide some extra damage assistance, or rather damage reduction, as the shield would be quite crucial there. But King Cloud has got another Parade of Power available to him, as he was very willing to use that first one rather quickly. Where would you like to see him use this next Parade of Power? Who does he need to address and try to get a kill on?
I think he needs to stop the Midas from happening on a PK soon. So I would like them to set up a gank on the Midas right now, before, and then the next one perhaps can go towards the Swiftblade, who's quite far still from his cleaver, so I don't think he'll have it before the next Parade of Power comes up. So that's, I would target those heroes in that order.
Okay.
Tempest does go for the Astrolabe, by the way, which we suggested, so good for him.
Yep, I definitely agree with the pickup there, as we're going to see King Clout get that invisibility rune down here at the bot river. Midas getting the Merrick's rune up in the top river. As we see Tempest in the top lane with the elementals looking to push this tier 1 tower. Magnus is in a pretty nifty spot here. Will he look to channel an eruption? There he goes. The ports are coming in. He's going to stun only on the elementals, missing the Master of Arms, unfortunately, as the Master's Call will be used defensively. Now here it comes King Clout with his Parade of Power lining up onto 2. The second one triggering only the Master of Arms. The Tempest Elemental Void will get cancelled immediately by the Magma's Lava Surge. Will they have enough damage here as Nymph ports in from the back lines? Madman not here though. King Clout gonna go down to the Blade Frenzy as they do get the kill onto Master of Arms. It is a 2-for-1 exchange as Torture was the first victim here in this fight as well. And may get a double tap ramaty for Swiftblade, and he is now 5-0, sitting on 370 gold per minute here. And Donkey Kong takes a 9-2 hero kill lead. That fight started with an initiation from the Legion side, but didn't end up working out in their favor, it looks like.
I know, not really, because the Magma stun couldn't reach the MOA anymore, I think, because they started backing as they saw the TP, kind of expecting the Madness to be the setup there. So it was kind of a good timing by Halborn to back off, as Magnus obviously missed the initial Lava Surge. He did do a nice Lava Surge afterwards though. And this time, I think for the first time in the series, I would say Backdoor Protocol is not getting the lanes as they want to. They're not getting the things they want out of the lane as much as they would like to.
So we see the tower fall there in the top lane pending that team fight. Tempest leading the way with the elementals and the auras. Madman picks up his rune cleaver though. He is still farming 460 gold per minute. He is the top farmer of the game, but as we can kind of see there, it kind of falls off from the rest of the supporting cast. The King Cloud and Magma still doing not that poorly though. 290 plus 200 or 325 on both the King Cloud and the Magnus. So by all means not that poorly, but the supporting cast really struggling. 150 and 90 GPM on the 2 supports there. No marchers on the Torture just yet. He's really struggled up there in the top lane with the 0 and 4 stat line. But more gold across the board for the side of Donkey Kong with its first tower kill of the game. They spot a 3,600 gold and 4,200 experience lead. Swiftblade looks like he'll be building into that rune cleaver with a sustainer picked up. Gonna get that one a little bit slower than the Madman, but again, Cthulhu Font getting a lot of build-up items here, 300 gold per minute. We see Midas again. SLASKEDYRET picks up the Sacrificial Stone. That's going to actually amp up his healing, as Midas does have some healing, whereas the Kraken last game didn't have any healing output. So not just simply building that as a build-up item, does merit some extra healing output. But what would you like to see coming up from the Cthulhu Font and Midas in terms of items?
I think since they don't have a Pharaoh or something similar this game, I think Cthulhu I would like to see BPro and Cthulhu Fun in order to be able to initiate with something, and then they could, you know, use the Midas and Tempest to follow that up. And obviously the Midas can go different ways. He can obviously buy
top lane. We have an eruption being channeled here. Magnus with the portal key. He's going to line up a 2-man stun. There's the Parade of Power coming in. Ported in by Nymphora, and they're going to burst down both the Swiftblade and the Master of Arms stacked on top of each other. Beautiful execution coming in from Backdoor Protocol, as that will give them some momentum here back into this game, taking out that legendary streak from the Swiftblade.
That was a sight to see. That was beautiful execution and great timings. You can see that they're not doing this for the first time.
That was definitely a solid Nymph TP. Started off by a Magnus initiation, catching both the 2 heroes up there. And I didn't get a chance to talk about that portal key, but he did pick it up rather quickly, having that good laning phase up there in the top lane.
It's a great
you were
timing.
talking about, you were talking about Cthulhu possibly going for one, but he picks up a Shaman's Headdress.
Not the worst thing in the world. They could play reactively. I think if he does pick up a Shaman's, as he does, then I would like to see that PK onto the Midas then, because I think a PK is necessary on each team, and he does agree with me as he picks it up now. Midas sitting at 400 GPM. He's done excellently this game.
Yep, he's 407 gold per minute, the top on his team. Definitely having quite a nice impact here as he's got the 202 stat line with the build up into the portal key already. Has a Veiled Rod on him as he ports to the bottom lane, so he wants to make use of that portal key right away. We'll see if they can line up the spells there as Madman currently over in the jungle. I have to imagine they don't want to use this portal key to get the kill on the Nymphora. They want to really look for that key target as Madman farming with the Rune Cleaver, but we still see Midas in the area here. Cthulhu going to push the lane with the Obliterate, and they're thinking about going in. There's the Transmute on the Nymphora. That will be a quick kill with the double damage rune assisting for some added damage. Serial Killer Streak coming out for the Midas there. As we see Tempest Veiled Rotted. He has a portal key here. 15 minutes in. He's 375 gold per minute with the Veiled Rot. They are hunting in the jungle here as the bottom lane will be pushed here by the side of Midas and Cthulhu. But Madman, he's in a pretty safe spot here, farming over on the left side of the jungle, not going to get detected here.
Right. As they kill Nymphora, I suggest. I mean, I feel like they are like, we take what we can get here. They kill the Nymphora on Donkey Kong, and I think Backdoor Protocol's not too sad with that, as it could have been a lot worse if it was any other hero.
So
Dying.
King Clout goes for the light brand. What are your thoughts on the pickup? And not only that, what will he be building that into moving forward? As
Really interesting.
The tower kill up there in the top lane.
Really interesting pickup. It does allow him to farm a bit faster, I suppose, and does solve most of his mana issues.
Where's it going is the question. They're porting into the jungle here. They're going to see Tempest, it looks like, on that ward of sight. Will they get the jump onto him, though, is the question, as King Cloud is Veiled Rotted. Looks like Magmus, he's not really interested in going for that kill. He's going to instead run to the mid lane. So Tempest, he's going to be just fine over here with the Elementals farming away on the medium camp here. Meanwhile, we have Swiftblade and Midas working on a triple stack Ancient. Counter attack going to be used there just to prevent some damage, as a health potion was also used to kind of tank that camp a little bit. But Swiftblade has his cleaver now, 1,000 gold saved up in the bank. What do you think he'll be? Okay, he picks up the Quickblade there. Do you think that's going to be a firebrand, or is there anything else that you'd be looking to go into?
Could be a no fire blade or a firebrand, obviously. I think no fire doesn't really have too much merit here.
Trample's gonna land here in the mid lane onto Torture. There's an Elemental Void coming out, going to lock down the King Cloud. So 2 kills going the way of Donkey Kong. This tower already low, going to fall with little to no resistance from the side of Backdoor Protocol, as we see a full spread from them. But 12-4 hero kill lead now, and they're not done pushing here in the mid lane, with Toughest Elementals leading the way. It looks like they want to put some pressure here on the tier 2 tower. But Madman, he picks up the Hungry Spirit. He has a Mighty Blade now in his inventory. Looks like he's building toward that Shrunken Head, which he's getting very close to, sitting on 2,000 gold. Tempest and Madman going to run into each other, but Tempest going to use the portal key defensively there.
Elemental Void on cooldown. Cthulhu denies that bottom tower, which I think is quite good for Legion, because that tower has been a bit of a thorn in their side. Having Tempest farming in their bottom lane and having that tower close by so that team support can come at any time is quite annoying. I think that tower is ideally killed at around the 12-minute mark at least. Sometimes at even the 8-minute mark.
A little bit later in the game here, definitely not being taken out, kind of hurting them, as you pointed out. Madman getting really close to his Shrunken, still needing about 400 more gold for the Rune Cleaver.
Midas walking on the rev ward here in the jungle. I think he's been spotted.
Yeah, Midas with the invisibility rune. Looks like they're trying to bait it out, and they're rotating players over here. There's the portal key picked up by Cthulhu, as he will have that in his stash. A little surprised he doesn't pick that up by the side shop there, kind of nearby, but he will get that delivered to him, as he does have the Sneamboots as well. Midas going for the post haste following the portal key. Do you like the fact that he went for post haste in this game specifically, or do you feel like he should have been prioritizing some more utility style items first?
I think either way is fine. Obviously, they want to create more space for the Swiftblade, as he's about 80 gold per minute behind the Madman right now, or 70. So I understand the item pickup if they're not looking to fight, but I feel like they're in a shape where they could just fight right now on Hellbourne. They are ahead, they have their PKs, they have their Cthulhu pretty tanky right now. By the way, Cthulhu is at 388 GPM. He's done excellently. He came out about 240 from the bottom lane, and he's found a lot of space apparently. As
Yeah, I agree with you completely. He's kind of turned around his farm.
So yeah, I think they're in a great shape to fight right now. So I would actually prefer for Slaska to buy some teamfight item, but having the
Looks like they want
post
to go for
haste
the
never
Convoy
bad.
here.
Oh, does
Hellbourne's
Swiftblade
doing
have?
their Convoy. No life steal picked up, but they do have the Astrolabe on the Tempest. And they have Midas. Does he have a regen rune? Yes, he does. So he's going to take some damage there as they kind of split the tanking. We're getting very low now. The enrage is up, but it looks like they'll be just fine here. The transfer comes out with the acid bomb on top.
Pretty smooth.
And that will be a 21-minute Convoy kill going the way of Donkey Kong. But Swiftblade working on his Frostburn here. He's got the Firebrand already completed. Bowstring armband in his inventory. Do you think we'll see the full Dawnbringer, or do you think he'll just keep the Frostburn and build into a next tier of item?
I think we'll eventually see the full
Initiation here
Dawnbringer.
in the mid lane. Magma's going to get completely locked down here by the portal key stun combinations from both the Midas, Cthulhu and the Tempest. Magnus will be dead now for 37 seconds.
Torture is going to die here as well as he runs into the Cthulhu. He misses the trample, but Tempest is there.
Here, but he can't escape the second wave of spells coming in. Double tap comes out for the Tempest as he has a Mighty Blade picked up working towards that shrunken head. And yeah, the grouping up just can't be stopped here. They have the glyph forced out, but they're going to get this second tier tower. And even with Madman having his shrunken head, it looks like they are not content or looking to take a 5-on-5 engagement here as the lead continues to grow for Donkey Kong here in game number 3. Almost a 10,000 gold and 7,000 experience lead built their way. Bottom lane, we have the Bluster being used here. Trample was already used. No way to stop that TP as King Cloud will make the escape. But he picks up an Arcana himself, so it looks like he's not going to upgrade the Light Brand. Thinking about possibly going into something like that Restoration Stone or a Hellflower. Which one would you rather see coming out from the King Cloud?
Both have a lot of merit to them, as the Hellfire is quite good against Tempest, Midas, Swiftblade, right? But
Yeah.
I do think that the Resto is just such a great item on Cloud that it just needs to be that.
Okay, so we'll see what he does decide to go for. 1,600 gold saved up as he's getting closer to the next tier item that he wants to build into. Kongor being attempted by the Legion side. Looks like there is no vision of this from the side of Donkey Kong. And with the Berserk activated and the heals from Nivora, this should be a relatively easy Kongor for the side of Legion.
Double
Torture,
boulder tanking.
Torture and King Cloud tank a boulder. They did it for good old Wig. That was not an accident, Ramaty. You know how this works. But they're going to be just fine. The Kongor does fall. And Madman with the Quick Blade. What will he be building that into? Will that be a Nullfire Blade? As Swiftblade didn't go for that, but he did go for the Firebrand into Frostburn. I don't think it's common, at least, that for Madman to go into a Firebrand. I think it's more likely that he'll build a Nullfire.
Yeah,
what do you think he's going to go for?
I think Nullfire. I don't often see
Port. He is level
into
11.
the bottom
This
lane.
could be a two-man port. Magnus ports in
It's a
with
bit
the
too
portal
far.
key. Yep, it looks like they have that ward of sight down in the bot lane scouting out the Cthulhu font, but they're not going to get the jump there. So they will show themselves here. Import not going to connect, but there's the Nullfire Blade pickup on the Madman.
We were right. I'd like to point out that Torture has been suffering massively this game, and that might be because he has never purchased a synchronizer. And I don't know about Quest Ophelia's Pact, but he doesn't have a synchronizer, and his GPM is just he is supposed to be the second support, so it really shows, even compared to just the Nymph, where the GPM and even the XPM is just not great. He's been suffering quite hard, and he had the option, I think, to pick up a synchronizer at any point, even at the beginning, but he chose not to, and he's kind of paying the price.
Yeah, he's going to go for the Gnome's Wisdom here, but not the most tanky presence outside of that Gnome's Wisdom, only sitting on sub 900 HP. And Magnus, he's kind of been quiet in the last few minutes, hasn't really picked up anything since the tablet, has 1200 gold saved up. What do you think we should see from the Magnus? As hold that thought, we might have an engagement here with the double veiled rots from our Legion side. King Clout gonna get his broken here as well as the Magnus. There's the Parade of Power locking down the Master of Arms. But there's the Elemental Void coming out with the Shrunken Head locking down both the Clout and the Magnus. Will the follow-up get there in time, as Madman was actually the target of focus from Swiftblade and company. They will get the one kill there onto the Madman. He could not get his Shrunken Head off. King Cloud falls as well as the Magnus, and a beautiful fight coming in from Donkey Kong. 3 for nothing, make it a 4 for nothing as Slaske finds the Nymphora over in the Kong area here. As that started off with an initiation from Legion, but Donkey Kong getting the better of the team fight here, Ramaty.
That was unfortunate for Backdoor
Is it going to be
Protocol.
a full genocide? They're going to get the
Looks
catcher
like
on the
it is.
torture, and that's going to be a full genocide.
They're
as
turning
the
it into
Lulu
a tier
and
2 tower.
Midas take them out here. And yeah, you pointed out the tier 2 tower being pushed here. Swiftblade and Tempest leading the way there. But how about Master of Arms not falling there, as he got initiated on by both the Parade of Power and the Lava Surge there. That was quite the
Bit of
hold.
an indecision by Backdoor Protocol, as the Bastard Farm smoke just popped in front of them, as they saw the Swiftblade right next to them, and they were like, which one do we go for? You could see the hesitation for a second there, and they both decided to go into the Master of Arms, and they were not able to bring him down, unfortunately. I think they stacked a bit of their lockdown on him, and in the end, I think I gotta ask you, doesn't Madman Barrel Roll destroy in Swiss Slashers? Swiss Slashes.
That's a good question. I think if he does use that correctly, he could break the ultimate, if I'm not mistaken. But
Because
yeah,
I saw him
I
have it
didn't-
up as he was being slashed, and he wasn't using it until the very end, and I was a bit confused because I've
Yeah,
seen
that
Madmans do it before.
yeah, I think you're definitely onto something there. I think he could have definitely looked to try to break that slash from continuing. But you know, the big thing now is Tempest has his Shrunken Head. I don't know if Backdoor Protocol was aware of that. Safe to say they're gonna need to save that Parade of Power now to deal with the Tempest ultimate, as there's no way outside of that spell being used to cancel that moving forward. And look at what Midas just picked up pending this genocide team fight, Ramity. That's a 27-minute sheepstick in the inventory of Midas. That's a huge pickup coming out from Sasuke, as he's 500 GPM. He's going to go ahead and use that right away onto the Torture. Magnus jumps in trying to save him. Is he going to make the escape? He is going to fall. The new pod not going to help him get to safety. And that is 2 more kills going the way of Donkey Kong. We now have a 21-4 hero kill lead, and it's not done just yet. A beautiful transmute landing outside of the stock being used from Madman. He uses the barrel roll. He's going to maybe make the escape, but there's the Elemental Void locking him down, and he will fall. A beautiful start to that with the transmute and the trample follow-up. Tries to make the escape. It was almost a good attempt there, but
And it's not
the
done
Elemental
just yet.
Void-
Top lane,
Yeah,
transmute
Midas
lands on
going
the
to get
cloud.
another catch there with his transmute. The Nimport's coming in. Cloud tries to turn it around. There's the Master's Call onto Midas as Nim goes for the TP on out. Slaske does not have his transmute available to stop that TP. Nymph will make the escape, but the big picture here is 3 players dead from the side of Backdoor Protocol. There's a Staff of the Master pickup on Cthulhu Fawn. What more can Donkey Kong ask for than all these big items coming together for them, as the tower is going to fall here at the base.
Eruption being
Respawn's
channeled.
Still, yeah, there's an eruption being channeled, but it's going to be enough damage. If anything, this is just more of a distraction to get them off of the racks. Magnus is going to fall. Nymphora is going to fall, and only Torture is alive. With
Concedo.
Cloud and Madman still dead. The Concevo does get called there. Will it go through is the question, as we have a champion in newer streak coming out for the Midas, and I don't know what Backdoor Protocol can do here, as this lead is just becoming too much. That is going to do it.
GG.
Very well executed. Game number 3 comes out from Donkey Kong. They ride that momentum from game 2, carrying it here in game 3 with a solid draft and strategy coming through in full fruition. But big congratulations to them. They're going to be moving forward to the finals, where they will await the winner of semifinal number 2 coming up here, pending this semifinal number 1. But final thoughts on game 3 and the series between Donkey Kong and Backdoor Protocol, Ramsey.
Well played by both teams, obviously. I do think Backdoor Protocol got a bit thrown off their game in the second game, and I feel like they didn't play their A game this game. And the story of the game kind of reflects that Madman finished the game without a single kill or assist. He was free farming all game, but he never got to use the farm as their fights were kind of messy. They never really got their madman able to just hit people and provide the lockdown for him that is necessary for him to deal damage. So they never really got their team fighting figured out that this game, and obviously Donkey Kong just definitely had it figured out this game, and they continued to ride their momentum, and well played to them.
I'm just going to go ahead and say 2-0 with a jungler, 0-1 without a jungler. Junglers showing a lot of promise here, Ramaty. Glad
Oh,
to see
definitely.
junglers making their presence felt here. As again, Donkey Kong moving on to the finals they will play later today. But that's going to conclude semifinal number 1. We're going to go on a break here, I believe the second semifinal, we should be starting that one pretty soon, but we will, again, we'll go on a break here before we get that one rolling. So stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. Semifinal number 2 coming up between Team Tim and the Doghouse. That is not one you're going to want to miss. That is a very high caliber match coming up as we have semifinal number 2 coming up shortly.